It's the summer of 1972, and I wake up in a military compound in Beijing with a splitting headache. Outside my door, my father's cousin, I call her Auntie Li Hiji, is knocking and begging me to sign over the house my mother left me to her daughter, Jiang Qi. She keeps saying things like, "You'll have to go to the countryside anyway, and we're family, aren't we?" Here's the thing, I'm not really from here. I just got struck by lightning and died in my old world, and somehow I woke up inside a novel. Not just any novel, a cheesy romance called something like When His Darling Sweetheart Pouts, the cold-hearted young master gently coaxes her. I'd only read the first chapter because the side character shared my name. And that side character? She's pure cannon fodder. She dies on page 1 just so the heroine can get her magical jade pendant. Let me explain the original story. The girl I've become, Li Luyu, grew up with her grandfather in this military compound. Her parents were scientists working in a secret research facility deep in the mountains. 3 years ago, enemy spies targeted them, and a planned explosion killed her parents and many other researchers. Her grandfather, General Li Yuan, was the military commander of the Beijing district. In the book, the original Li Luyu dies of a sudden heart attack. Then someone reports her grandfather for hiding enemy letters, and the double blow kills him too. Her uncle, a vice commander in another military unit, dies on a mission shortly after hearing the news. The heroine of the novel, Jiang Qi, Auntie's daughter, then handles the funerals and discovers a jade pendant on the original Li Luyu's body. The pendant activates a magical pocket dimension, and from there the heroine chases after the male lead, gets revenge on her enemies, collects gold and antiques, builds a business empire, and lives happily ever after. But I know the truth. Jiang Qi is actually reborn. She lived this life once before. The report that destroys grandfather? She's the one who arranged it. Now, about me. In my previous life, I survived an apocalypse. I had 3 supernatural abilities, lightning, wood, and psychic powers, plus a storage dimension of my own. Getting zapped by lightning and landing here is honestly embarrassing for someone of my caliber. I reach for the jade pendant that should be around my neck. It's gone. Jiang Qi already stole it last night while the original Li Luyu was passed out from her heart attack. She didn't even bother putting the poor girl on the bed or covering her with a blanket. Some heroine. My abilities are still with me, though they've dropped to level 1. And my storage space is here too, packed full of supplies and enough crystal cores to power me back up to full strength. I'll manage. I pull open the door. Get out. I've crawled out of mountains of corpses in my old world. The killing intent I give off makes Andy freeze on the spot, trembling. She stammers something about my mother's grave being vandalized, then turns and runs down the hallway screaming that I'm possessed. I watch her go and click my tongue. The housekeeper, Annie Zhang, calls me for dinner: braised pork, stewed eggplant, tomato and eggs, a yam and mushroom dish, and beef soup. 4 dishes and a soup. Simple, but after years of apocalypse rations, it tastes incredible. After eating, I stand in the courtyard and look at the darkening sky. The night is dark and the wind is rising. A perfect night to settle some scores. I go back to my room, sit cross-legged on the bed, and pull a lightning-type crystal core from my storage space. I absorb its energy, letting it flow through my body. By the time the moon is high, I've powered up to level 3. Good enough for tonight. I change into dark clothes and jump out of my second-floor window. Let me explain the family situation. Auntie Li Hiji is the daughter of grandfather's younger brother, Li Su. Uncle Li Su was never much of anything, lazy, no real skills. He married a petty, scheming woman, and they had 2 kids. Their son got mixed up with the wrong crowd and was stabbed to death years ago. Their daughter, Li Hiji, married Jiang Qinghui, a local official in the city. They live in an alley on the east side of the city, a fair distance from our military compound. I slip out of the compound without making a sound, find a hidden corner, pull an electric scooter from my storage space, and ride over to Jiang Qi's house in less than half an hour. I spread my psychic power over the whole courtyard. Interesting, my dear step-uncle is still awake, hunched over his desk working on something. I toss some knockout powder around. Everyone in the house falls into a deep sleep. I stroll into Jiangqi's room. Don't even have to search. My jade pendant is right there hanging around her neck. I take it back. Something's off, though. In the original story, Jiangqi was only supposed to bond with this pendant after the original Li Luoyu died, and she found it among the belongings. But I'm not dead, and she already had it. That confirms what I suspected. She's not just reborn once. She's living her third life. The pendant is shaped like a phoenix. Funny, it matches my own dragon-shaped pendant nicely. Just as I'm about to put it away, Jiangqi suddenly jolts awake and sits up, eyes wide with terror. "What are you doing in my room?" Then she sees the pendant in my hand and screams, "Give me back my pendant." I have to laugh. My knockout drug would keep a pig unconscious for a full day, and this girl woke up in under 10 minutes. I guess being the heroine of a novel has its perks. I look at her coldly. "Your pendant? It was around my neck for years. You had it for one day, and suddenly it's yours." In her panic, she blurts out, "It belonged to me in my past life." That confirms everything. I grab her by the throat. "Past life? So you really have lived 3 lives, huh? Not bad for a heroine." I fling her across the room. She slams into the stone wall and crumples to the floor, coughing up blood, at least 3 ribs broken. She stares at me in disbelief. "You're supposed to die tonight." I crouch in front of her and tap her spotty cheek. "With a face like that, how did you ever manage to charm so many people?" Her eyes go wide. "Are you reborn too?" I don't answer. I just look into her eyes. "Why did you report my grandfather?" She tries to deny it at first. I slap her hard enough that her head cracks against the wall. 2 teeth fly out with the blood. Then something breaks inside her, and she starts laughing. Wild, bitter laughter.
"Why?"
"Because I hated your family. I hated how you always had everything. Your parents loved each other, and loved you. Your grandfather was a hero everyone respected. You just had to wave your hand, and people adored you. And me? My grandfather was a deadbeat. My father was a deadbeat. My mother was nothing, couldn't even hold a decent job. The other kids in the compound wouldn't play with me. They called me the broken-down princess. When your parents died, you know what I did? I ran to the east end of the street and set off firecrackers to celebrate. When you died in my last life, I set off more firecrackers. When your grandfather died, more firecrackers. When your uncle died on his mission, even more firecrackers." She glares at me with bloodshot eyes. "Why are you still alive?" "Why?" I actually feel sorry for her. 3 lifetimes, and she never figured out how to be a decent person. I flick a small bolt of lightning into her brain through my fingertip. A brief tremor, a wisp of black mist from her nose, and she's gone. Level 3 lightning really is too weak. I mutter. Can't even vaporize someone properly. Just to be safe, because I've heard heroines in novels have a way of coming back, I pull out a bottle of dark green solution from my storage space and drip it onto the body. It's a corpse-dissolving agent developed in my old world for dealing with zombies. 1 drop can melt a tough zombie down to nothing, bones to dust, without leaving even a trace of blood in the air. A human body is much easier. I'm not being cruel for fun. Years of surviving the apocalypse taught me to eliminate problems at the source. No loose ends, no second chances. My #1 survival rule: enemies are only honest when they can't bother you anymore. I look at the Phoenix Jade pendant one last time. Crystal clear, warm to the touch, shaped like a phoenix spreading its wings with delicate feather patterns and tiny glowing clouds beneath its claws. Beautiful. I store it in my space. The moment I do, something trembles deep in my soul, and my bones crack and shift. It's uncomfortable, but it passes quickly. I spread my psychic power across the whole courtyard and start scanning Jiangqi's room inch by inch. For this era, she had a lot of nice things. Not surprising, since her father is a high-ranking local official. On her vanity, I find a box of expensive jewelry: jade bracelets, jade hairpins, agate pieces, pearl strings. In a small drawer, 2 watches, 1 Shanghai brand, 1 Rolex. There's also a bank book with 3,200 yuan, about 320 yuan in loose cash and ration tickets, and hidden in a secret compartment under her bed, a small sandalwood box containing 10 small gold bars. I take everything worth taking. Her clothes and bedding I leave, not worth my time. Next up, my step-uncle's study. Simple layout, 3 bookshelves, a desk, 2 leather sofas, a tea table. He's slumped over his desk, asleep from my knockout powder, face down on a marked-up map of Beijing with an unfinished letter under his hand, pen still stuck in the page. I read the letter. It basically says, "The goods are ready, stored at an abandoned house, meet at the usual spot. Smuggling cultural relics." Lovely. The map is basically a treasure map, 7 locations marked across the outskirts of Beijing, all abandoned properties where he's hidden things. Lucky me. I scan behind the bookshelves with my psychic power and find a hidden room. Inside, 10 crates of small gold bars, 500 bars per crate at 320 grams each. 2 crates stuffed with cash. A safe in the corner with loose money, and a bank book worth 20,000 yuan. I take it all, without a shred of guilt. Even more interesting, a box full of account ledgers, a radio transmitter for passing secret messages, and about 10 letters from various sources, including 2 from America. I almost laugh from anger. If there's one thing I despise across both my lives, it's traitors who sell out their country, especially ones working with foreign powers. I consider killing him right here, but I decide he's more valuable alive. Handing him and all this evidence over to the authorities will do more good. So I leave him breathing. I do strip him of his cash, ration tickets, and his Shanghai brand watch on the way out, though. That watch alone is worth over 100 yuan. I move on to Annie's room and do the same thorough search. More expensive jewelry, watches, money, ration tickets, bank books, household registration documents, all collected. And here's the real find. Auntie has her own ledger too. She's been trafficking people. This whole family is unbelievable. I really have to wonder what kind of values the author of this novel had to create a heroine and her family like this. I clear out their kitchen. Rice, flour, cooking oil, vegetables. I grab the valuable decorations from the living room. Under a stone table in the courtyard, I find 10 more crates of gold bars, same size as the ones inside. All of it goes into my space. Then I head home. Grandfather still isn't back. He's probably already been detained for investigation. I sigh. If only I'd arrived one night earlier. If I'd dealt with Jiangqi sooner, those people would never have received the report letter. But there's no point in regret. I need to plan my next move. They'll probably send people to search our house first thing tomorrow morning. Better hide anything valuable before they come and destroy it all. I start with grandfather's room, a suite with its own bathroom, study, and bedroom. In his study, I sweep everything into my space. Books, files, ordinary decorations, his tea collection, his wine collection, his military medals, a bank book with 6,000 yuan, 2,000 yuan in cash, even the wrinkled map on the wall. I also grabbed the 2 letters that Jiangqi secretly planted in here, the fake evidence she used to frame him. Under grandfather's bed, a hidden compartment holds a small wooden box. I take that too. My uncle's room is just as I expected, a neatly made bed with faded blankets and a few sets of clothes. Nothing to collect. Then I open my parents' room. On the vanity, mother's jewelry, a jade bracelet, gold and jade earrings, a diamond-studded watch. Her clothes, her hats, and letters she wrote to father. Father's books, his clothes, his favorite watch, engraved on the inside with, from wife Xi, July 18, 1962. In the desk drawer, a leather envelope. Inside, their marriage certificate, love poems father wrote for mother, and a photo from their wedding day. My eyes suddenly sting. I want to cry. In my past life, I was an orphan. I never knew what parents looked like. And now, even after crossing into this world, my parents are already gone. But looking at their photo, I think, if I'd ever had parents, I'd want them to look just like this. I pull myself together and store everything from the room into my space. The living room has nothing worth saving, plain wooden furniture, no television, no fan. The housekeeper, Auntie Zhang, is still here, so I leave the kitchen supplies alone for now. Last is my own room. The original Li Luoyu had quite a few clothes and little leather shoes, a radio, and 2 watches. One is a Shanghai brand she bought herself. The strap is worn from daily use. The other is a Patek Philippe with tiny diamonds still sparkling on the face, a gift her father brought from Shanghai for her 15th birthday 3 years ago. It caused a sensation in the whole neighborhood at the time. There's also a bank book with 23,230 yuan. Most of it is the government's compensation for the families of martyrs, deposited after her parents died. The original girl had put it all into her own account. Remembering the 3 bank books I grabbed from the Jiang family, I'll need to visit the bank tomorrow and withdraw everything. After my sweep, the only thing left in my room is the blanket on my bed. Everything else is safely in my space. It's 3:30 in the morning. I was planning to absorb more crystal cores, but then I remember my space felt different when I stored that phoenix pendant. I enter my space and freeze. My old space was a static warehouse where time stood still. Now it's completely transformed. In front of me stretches an endless plain of rich, dark soil, so vast I can't see where it ends. A winding river cuts through the land like a green ribbon. Along the edges rise mountains of all sizes, lush and wrapped in mist. Not far away, nestled in a bamboo grove, sits a 3-story bamboo house, elegant and rustic. In front of the house, there's a spring. The water is perfectly clear and glows faintly. My eyes light up. Could this be the legendary spirit spring, the kind that cleanses your body and cures all illness? Every transmigration's dream accessory? I don't overthink it. I scoop up a handful and drink. The water is cool and sweet. It flows down my throat and turns into a warm current that rushes through my whole body, washing over my organs and easing away all the exhaustion from tonight. Even the discomfort in my heart feels soothed. I get excited and gulp down 5 full bowls. That's a mistake. A searing pain erupts in my stomach. I collapse beside the spring, drenched in cold sweat. It feels like thousands of tiny needles crawling under my skin. My pale skin turns a sickly blue-black, and thick, foul-smelling dark blood oozes from every pore. My bones start crackling like they're being reshaped from the inside. I spit out a mouthful of black blood, and my vision explodes into white light. I lose track of time, drifting between consciousness and darkness. When I finally open my eyes, I'm staring at a pair of colorful, glass-like eyes. They belong to a tiny fairy, a cute little creature in a pretty dress with translucent wings. She's pinching her nose and fanning the air with an annoyed expression. "EW? Master, you stink, fair enough." I look down at my blood-soaked clothes. But my body feels incredibly light. My breathing is clear and easy. The original Li Luoyu's heart condition is completely gone. At least I didn't fall into the spring. That would have ruined the whole pool. "Who are you?" I ask. The little fairy lifts her chin proudly, the rainbow-colored antennae on her head wiggling with self-importance. "I'm Liuli, the spirit of this space. I was activated the moment you merged the phoenix pendant." She leans in with a mischievous grin. "But if you want to know more about the space, you should probably wash up first." Before I can respond, an invisible force lifts me into the air and drops me straight into the river. Liuli claps her wings and giggles. "Master is so silly. I spend a whole hour scrubbing every last bit of black grime from my pores, then dress in the original Li Luoyu style, a floral dress with white leather shoes. The original body was 18 years old, 168 centimeters tall. After this cleansing, I've shot up 4 centimeters. My skin is luminous, my eyes are bright and clear, and the scar at the corner of my eye has completely disappeared. Small nose, porcelain white face, faint dimples. I look like some untouchable beauty who accidentally wandered into the mortal world. Only complaint, still flat up top. I choose not to dwell on it. I smile at Liuli. "Okay, little one, tell me about our space." She lands on my shoulder, her antennae nuzzling my ear affectionately. "This space is called the Dragon Phoenix Ruins. An ancient powerful being created it long ago for the young of the Dragon and Phoenix clans. But those creatures are gone now. I got split in 2 during some great war I can barely remember. One half fell into your previous world, the other into this one. Since you found both halves, I'm whole again, she giggles. Thank you, big sister. I scratch her little head. So, how much land do we have now? She pouts slightly. This world has no spiritual energy, so I could only release 10,000 acres of farmland and one large mountain range. But time here flows at a ratio of 1 to 10. 1 day outside equals 10 days in here. Crops mature in about a month. 10,000 acres and accelerated time. More than enough for this world. And in my previous life, I collected seeds from everywhere. We can fill every acre. Let's go check on my old warehouse, I say. I teleport to the back of the bamboo house. Everything is here. Before the apocalypse hit my old world, I'd done quite a bit of free shopping from various national stockpiles. At the far edge alone, there are millions of unopened shipping containers. No exaggeration, I could spend 100 lifetimes burning through these supplies and never run out. Now everything is neatly sorted by category: clothing, food, building materials, vehicles, books, military equipment. I just have to think of something, and it appears in my hand. Time is still frozen in the warehouse, right? Yep. Nothing will ever spoil in here. Good. Let's go check tonight's haul. In the last warehouse room, all the things I took from Jiangqi's family are laid out. 20 full crates of small gold bars, 500 bars per crate at 320 grams each. 2 crates of cash at 100,000 yuan per crate. Plus about 8,000 yuan in loose money. Quite the windfall. After dawn, I'll head to the bank and withdraw the 30,000 plus yuan sitting in the Jiang family's 3 bank books. No sense letting that money go to waste. After all, I'm her big sister. It's practically my inheritance, right? After checking all my supplies, Lioli and I explore the bamboo house. It looks simple from outside, but inside it's a whole different world. The first floor has a living room, an open kitchen and dining area, and a laundry room with a fully automatic washer and dryer. The living room is cozy, warm lighting, wooden floors, linen sofa, a bamboo floor lamp, and a blue porcelain vase with fresh camellia flowers. The second floor is split in two. One half is my weapons research lab, with design blueprints from my past life still hanging on the walls and all the materials stored in the warehouse, ready whenever I need them. The other half is my pharmaceutical workshop, sandalwood medicine cabinets, medical texts, a white jade work surface, and precision equipment, all spotless. The third floor is entirely my living quarters, a huge walk-in closet, a tea room, a study, and a big, soft bed. I flop onto it and pull little Lioli close, tickling her. You're like a worm in my brain. You know exactly what I like. This whole place feels like it was designed around my heart. She giggles. Of course. Our souls are connected. We fall asleep together. The next morning I come downstairs to breakfast. Steamed pork buns, rice porridge, 3 boiled eggs, and a small dish of pickled vegetables. All made by Auntie Zhang, our housekeeper. I take a deep breath and take her hand. Auntie Zhang, grandfather has been reported. Whether or not the charges are true, they'll probably want to send people here. This place is about to become. She pulls her hand back, eyes welling with tears. Luo, what are you saying? I came into this household with your mother when you were still a baby. I squeeze her rough hands and smile. Auntie Zhang, the times won't allow it. Here's 500 yuan. Take it, find somewhere safe, and live quietly. I press the money into her palm and close her weathered fingers around it. My eyes sting. To the original Li Luyu, Auntie Zhang was the closest thing to a mother she had growing up, one of the few sources of warmth in her short life. I don't want her caught up in what's coming. Pack your things quickly. You need to leave soon. She wipes her tears, sighs, and goes to her room. Her belongings fit into one bundle. I grab 2 strips of cured meat, 2 pounds of brown sugar, and a basket of apples from the kitchen and hand them to her. After some back and forth, Auntie Zhang, go now. The investigation team will be here soon. She leaves reluctantly, looking back every few steps, crying as she goes. The moment she's gone, I sweep the kitchen clean, rice, flour, cooking oil, everything of value from the kitchen and living room goes into my space. Then I blanket the entire courtyard with my psychic power and check every inch, top to bottom, even the mouse holes, making sure there's nothing incriminating or valuable left. Only then do I sit down at the dining table to eat my breakfast. Sure enough, shortly after Auntie Zhang leaves, 7 or 8 people push into the courtyard. The man in charge wears gold-rimmed glasses and a gray cadre-style suit with a Parker fountain pen clipped to his chest pocket. His hair is slicked back and shiny, and he carries himself like he thinks he's very important. The men behind him are basically thugs, carrying sticks, shifty-eyed, tapping and poking at everything. You can tell they do this kind of thing regularly. 2 of them can't even fit through the door, so they pace outside in their canvas shoes, grinding against the brick and knocking over Annie Zhang's little pots of green onions and garlic. I look up at the whole group, slowly stir my porridge with a spoon, and say calmly, "Have you eaten yet?" The head official touches the gun at his waist and gives me a fake smile. "Miss Lee, someone has reported your grandfather for hiding enemy correspondence. We're here to search the premises." "Oh." I don't stand up. "Then please show me your search warrant." His face darkens, but he pulls a warrant from his pocket and flashes it. I glance at it.
Fine.
"Help yourselves. I haven't finished eating, so I won't be getting up. But I have one condition." I look him straight in the eye, my voice dropping a few degrees. "Don't smash or damage anything in this house. This is a line I won't let them cross. This home belongs to grandfather and me. These people don't get to trample our dignity." He smirks. "Sure thing. Good," I say lightly, letting my voice lift at the end. "I trust an organization that serves the people won't let the people down." He pauses and studies my face, clearly surprised. He's never seen an 18-year-old girl stay this calm while her home is being raided. Usually people cry, beg, or fall to their knees. But here I am, sitting at my table, eating porridge like his search team is just a group of guests who dropped by for a visit. Still, he waves his men forward. "Search carefully. See if there's anything here that shouldn't be. We need something to report back." The thugs get the signal. They grin, swing their sticks, and start smashing up the living room. Even though I already moved everything valuable into my space, watching these thugs destroy my home right in front of me makes me genuinely angry. One of them raises his stick to smash an embroidered screen. I flick a pair of chopsticks across the room. They pierce straight through his wrist. He screams and stumbles back, dropping his stick. The rest of the thugs freeze and look at their boss. I pick up a fresh pair of chopsticks and keep eating. I said, "Don't smash anything." A scar-faced thug grins, pulls a switchblade from behind his back, and starts coming toward me. Before he gets close, another pair of chopsticks flies from my hand. His knife clatters to the floor, 2 chopsticks sticking out of his wrist, blood dripping everywhere. The head official, Wang Weihua, swallows hard. He wasn't expecting this. I pick up my 3rd pair of chopsticks and sit in a patch of sunlight that makes me look colder than I feel. Think carefully. Keep smashing? Or search properly. Wang Weihua's fingers drift toward his gun, but I can tell he's not sure his bullet would be faster than my chopsticks. Just then, several of grandfather's old friends from the military compound come rushing in. Old Grandpa Lu charges ahead, shouting from down the street, "Lee girl, don't be afraid. Grandpa Lu is here." Grandma Lee follows with her wooden cane, silver hair flying. "Lee girl, I'm here too. I dare any one of those bastards to touch you." Grandpa Wei storms in with a shovel, an old leather ammo pouch still on his belt. "Lee girl, Grandpa Wei's got your back." Grandma Wu clutches her polished copper pipe, eyes narrowing with the same fierceness she had fighting enemy soldiers in her youth. "That's right. I killed enough invaders back in the day. We're not scared of these turtle eggs." Then 2 younger people push through. Wei Jiangwo rolls up his sleeves, ready to fight. "Little Lee, your big brother Wei is here to back you up." Qi Xiaofei pulls a whip from her belt. "Little Lee, don't worry, big sister. Qi will beat them senseless." But when they all squeeze inside and see me calmly eating breakfast with 2 of Wang Weihua's men clutching their bleeding wrists, the whole room goes silent for a moment. I smile, stand up, and usher everyone to the dining table. I run to the kitchen and bring out bowls of the porridge Annie Zhang made this morning. "Grandpas, grandmas, Xiaofei, Jiangwo, you haven't eaten yet, have you? Have some porridge with pickled vegetables." It's not fancy, but it's warm. Wei Jiangwo sits down and rolls his eyes. I've told you 100 times, don't call me Xiaojian. Xiaojian, Xiaojian, Xiaojian. Xiaofei teases, calling him the nickname 3 times before happily grabbing her bowl. How did you know I skipped breakfast? I'm starving. The grandparents sit down too, laughing. We didn't eat much either. Let's eat and watch them search. Grandpa Wei takes a big gulp of porridge and glances at Wang Weihua standing frozen in the doorway. Hey, little Wang, hurry it up, would you? Don't make us wait through breakfast. Wang Weihua breaks into a nervous sweat. These old folks are retired military legends, people he absolutely cannot afford to offend. He forces an ugly smile. Of course, of course. All just a misunderstanding. One of his men accidentally kicks over a blue and white porcelain piece behind him. The cracking sound makes Wang Weihua's temple throb. He spins around and yells at his crew. What are you waiting for? Search, and let's get out of here, so we can eat too. He kicks one thug who's about to swing his stick at a bookshelf. Stop smashing everything. Can you afford to replace socialist public property? The thugs shrink back, tuck away their sticks, and start searching politely, opening drawers and cabinets with careful hands. Wang Weihua steals a glance at me, chatting and laughing with the old generals while casually eating, and remembers how I just pinned 2 of his men's wrists with chopsticks. He swallows hard. Since when does this girl have this kind of fighting ability? Soon his men come back with their report. Boss, there's nothing here. The place is completely empty. Not even a scrap of paper. Same here. We checked the mouse holes. Not even a mouse dropping. We dug up the garden, checked under every tree. It's suspiciously clean. Wang Weihua rubs his chin. Pack it up. We're leaving. He gives the old folks a stiff nod and marches his team out without looking back. Silently, he curses Jiang Qinghui, Auntie's husband, for not showing up this morning. This should have been his job. After they leave, the smiles fade from the old folks' faces. Grandpa Lu looks furious enough to shoot whoever filed the report. I ask gently, Grandpa Lu, do you know when my grandfather can come home? His health isn't good. I'm worried. He sighs heavily. Don't worry too much, child. Grandpa Wei and I will go talk to the old leaders today. Your grandfather should be home by tonight. But I know what he's not saying. Grandfather will likely be sent away to the countryside. Thank you, Grandpa Lu, Grandpa Wei. Wherever my grandfather goes, I'll go with him. He'll be more at ease with me by his side. The old folks sigh, their eyes full of concern. They know the original Li Luyu learned martial arts from her grandfather since she was little. Having me there will help him survive, whatever comes next. Wei Jiangwo and Qi Xiaofei look miserable, not knowing what to say. I lighten the mood. Grandpa Lu, if we get to choose where to go, I'd like the far northeast. I'm lazy. I don't like hard work. Grandpa Lu laughs and shakes his finger at me. You rascal, I poke Qi Xiaofei's drooping eyelid. Hey, cheer up you two. It's not like I'm never coming back. Just send me snacks. I love the almond cookies from the state-run shop on Hepping Road. Don't be stingy with your ration tickets. Xiaofei sniffles and swats my hand away. Fine. I'll send some every month. Also, I add casually, Jiangwo, Xiaofei, why don't you two just get married already? I'm breaking through this obvious wall between you. With how shy you both are, if I wait 3 to 5 years, I'll miss the wedding. Wei Jiangwo is pouring water. His hand jerks so hard the hot water splashes onto his shoe. He lunges toward me, face bright red, trying to cover my mouth. Don't listen to her nonsense. Qi Xiaofei turns scarlet and pretends to look away. Okay, I won't listen. I roll my eyes at both of them. Grandpa Wei, who is already walking away, stops and rushes back, grabbing my arm excitedly. Li girl, is that true? I point my chin at the two of them, twisting around each other like pretzels. See for yourself. Ha ha ha. I need to go home and discuss this right away. After everyone leaves, I quickly wash the dishes, clean up, get myself ready, and head out the door. I have a bank to visit. I have 3 things to do today. First, the bank. I go back into my space and disguise myself to look like Jiang Qinghui, Andy's husband. I use makeup, put on my uncle's navy blue cadre suit, a slicked-back wig in the style of the era, and shiny black leather shoes with hidden lifts to make up for the height difference. By 9:05 the bank is open. I hand over Jiang Qinghui's bank book and household registration through the window and say, "Withdraw everything." The teller stamps away, counts out 20,000 yuan, and hands it all back without a single question. I had a whole excuse prepared, but she didn't even ask. Works for me. I repeat the process, with Li Heji's 8,000 yuan and Jiang Qi's 3,200 yuan. All withdrawn.
Done.
Second, the treasure hunt. Wearing Jiang Qi's face this time, I bike out to the abandoned houses on the outskirts of Beijing, the 7 locations marked on Jiang Qinghui's secret map. Little Yuli helps guide me from inside the space. There's a hidden basement switch in that room. Big sister, I'm impressed. You can sense treasure too. She puffs up proudly, bouncing on the bed in our bamboo house. My spiritual awareness now covers a 100-meter radius. That's better than me, I admit. My psychic range is only 20 meters until I level up. The first basement is about 100 square meters, packed with 100 large crates, all filled with antiques from every dynasty. Of course. What else would you smuggle? I hit all 7 locations. Total haul, 1,320 crates of antiques. Bronze ritual vessels from the Shang and Zhou dynasties. Celadon plates from the Song dynasty. Blue and white porcelain vases. Ming and Qing scroll paintings. Tang dynasty glazed pottery camels and jade figurines of horseback riders. Ancient books, calligraphy sets, rare manuscripts, many of which I'd seen in my previous life, sitting in foreign museums or private collections overseas. I run my hand over a chipped Tang dynasty camel figurine. It's not that I don't want to hand you all over to the government, I murmur. But right now, it's hard to tell the good people from the bad. If I give you to the wrong person, you'll just end up destroyed or lost again. Stay safe in my space for now. And if I ever make it to the top, I'll build a giant private museum so future generations can see you. By 3 o'clock, I'm starving.
I pop
into my space and grab a pack of mixed noodles from my old world stash, the kind from the carb capital. Toss on some vinegar and chili oil. Incredible. Lioli zips over. Ooh, that smells amazing. Want some? Yes. Wait, space spirits can eat regular food. Of course. Do you also?
You know.
Go to the bathroom. Nope. Just a little toot and I'm good. I stare at her. Okay then. I give her a small bowl. She takes one bite and sticks out her tongue, panting. Spicy.
Spicy.
Water. I hand her a cup of spirit spring water.
Slow down. There's plenty.
I've got enough noodles to feed us for centuries. While she eats, I look out at the vast dark soil of our space and smile. How about this afternoon you start planting? Half wheat, half rice, and a small patch for fruits and vegetables, she pouts. But I don't know how to farm. I have agriculture books. You'll learn fast. Third task, the report. After eating, I write 2 anonymous tip letters. One reports Li Heji for human trafficking. Her account ledger is hidden under her bed. The other reports Jiang Qinghui as a foreign spy and cultural relic smuggler. The radio transmitter and letters are in his hidden room behind the bookshelf. That investigation team leader from this morning, Wang Weihua, didn't seem trustworthy either, so I send the letters to the Public Security Bureau instead. I disguise myself as Jiang Qi again, bribe a little boy outside the police station with 2 white rabbit candies to deliver the letters, and walk away. On my way back, I spot the People's Department store on the corner. Right? I need to buy supplies for when grandfather and I get sent to the countryside. The store is a big gray-white building with a red banner. Across the top reading, Develop the Economy, Guarantee Supply. Propaganda posters flank the entrance, a worker swinging a hammer on one side, a farmer carrying wheat on the other. I sling my army green canvas bag over my shoulder, pull out the cash and ration tickets I've collected, and go on a shopping spree. First floor, food counter. 5 pounds of white rabbit candy, 5 pounds of fruit hard candy, 17 yuan, and 10 sugar tickets. Then 2 boxes of walnut cookies, 2 pounds of egg cake, 2 tins of face cream, and 2 bars of soap. Second floor. I creak up the old wooden stairs. At the clothing section, I pick out 2 pairs of black pants and 2 white shirts for myself, plus a navy check skirt and a wine red check skirt. 2 pairs of buckle shoes, and 2 pairs of canvas sneakers. For grandfather, I get 2 cadre suits, 2 sets of sturdy work clothes, a nice gray cotton jacket with hidden pockets for keys and loose change, and 2 pairs of shoes, canvas and cloth. 3rd floor, a kerosene lamp, kerosene, 2 thermoses, 2 enamel basins stamped with revolutionary slogans, and a big enamel mug for grandfather's tea. Total damage, just over 300 yuan. After living in a world where everything cost hundreds or thousands, spending a few yuan per item feels almost unreal. I carry everything out in both hands. Good thing I'm strong, and check the sky. The sun is getting low. Grandpa Lu said grandfather should be home tonight. I duck into a quiet alley, store all my purchases in my space, pull out a bicycle, and pedal home as fast as I can. I rush home and drop off everything I bought, then head straight to the kitchen. Grandfather has been detained for 2 days. He definitely hasn't eaten well. My space is full of ingredients, so tonight I'm going all out. I make a pot of chicken soup simmered with ginseng and spirit spring water for 3 hours, a plate of wood ear mushroom with scrambled eggs, fluffy like clouds, a dish of Hakka-style stuffed tofu, and 2 bowls of steamed rice. When night falls, grandfather comes home, escorted by 2 young soldiers who are supposedly accompanying him but are really just guards. His hair has gone completely white overnight, but his back is still ramrod straight. I poke my head out of the kitchen. "Hey, old man, you're back. Hungry? I cooked tonight. There's a whole pot of chicken soup. Can you smell it?" He's still lost in his thoughts when my voice snaps him out of it. Before he can say anything, I drag him to the table. I hang on his arm, chin lifted proudly. "I made all of this. Impressive, right?" I shove the soup spoon into his hand. "Try it." I put a whole ginseng root in there. I pick up a piece of stuffed tofu with my chopsticks and hold it out. And this, I learned a recipe from an old grandmother. Totally authentic. He takes a spoonful of soup. The rich ginseng and chicken flavor spreads across his tongue, and I can see the warmth settle into him, like 2 days of suffering just melting away. I rest my chin on my hands and watch him. When I notice his eyes getting glassy, I poke his shoulder. Crying doesn't suit an old revolutionary. I pull a white rabbit candy from my apron pocket and put it in front of him. "Here, something sweet." No more tears allowed. He nearly chokes, coughs, and glares at me.
Brat.
"Who's crying?" "Your old man never cries." Sure. You're the toughest." I bite back a laugh and pile more egg on his plate. "But hey, watch the old man thing. You're not my old man. My old man is Li Yanji. That little rascal. Don't mention him in front of me. If your father were still alive, I'd have beaten him with my shoe long ago. He drains a whole bowl of soup in one go. This soup is especially good tonight. Give me another bowl." My father was apparently legendary in this compound. A total troublemaker growing up. He beat up every kid his age. At 12, he snuck past the guards during a shift change, disassembled a soldier's rifle down to every last spring and pin, drew a detailed reassembly diagram in his school notebook, and when he put it back together, hid a piece of fruit candy inside the stock. The poor guard found the candy wrapper the next day while cleaning his gun and had to run 20 laps as punishment. At 14, father somehow got his hands on a decommissioned light tank. He and some buddies fixed it up and rolled it onto the main road. Military trucks were honking everywhere while he stood on top of the turret, hands on his hips, pretending to review troops like a commander. When grandfather arrived with his guards, the kid was banging on the cannon barrel with a stick, yelling, "Turn right, fire." He pulled stunts like this constantly. But he had one weakness. The moment grandfather appeared in a doorway swinging his belt, father would scramble down from wherever he was and stand at attention against the wall like a little tree. Eyes still full of mischief, of course. Grandfather would whip his backside until he howled across the whole compound. But for all the trouble, father grew up to be a brilliant man, a leader of his generation and grandfather's greatest pride. When this is all over, I say softly, "I'll take you to see the ocean down south. Like you promised me when I was little, we'll ride the green train all the way to the edge of the world." Grandfather's chopsticks pause. He tips his head back and takes a gulp of cold tea. I catch something shiny in the creases at the corner of his eye, but he wipes it away with his sleeve before I can get a good look. What does a kid know about the edge of the world? Hey, old man. I tap his enamel mug with my spoon, dragging out the words. Remember when you held me at the Lushuan naval port and we watched the warships together? You said when I grew up, you'd take me to feel the wind on the South China Sea. I slap a fruit candy into his rough palm. People who break promises get stuffed into cannon barrels for target practice. He stares at the candy wrapper, but doesn't let go. Moonlight pours through the window, painting silver lines across the deep wrinkles on his face. The waves on the South Sea, he says suddenly, his voice rough like sandpaper. They're wilder than the Bohai. They can toss a warship around like a leaf. No problem, I say, waving my empty soup spoon with a grin. I'll build you an aircraft carrier. We'll put the biggest searchlight on the deck and light up the coral reefs until they look like crystal. And I'll build you a cabin with a porthole so you can watch dolphins chasing the ship every morning when you wake up. He wraps his chopsticks on my head. Nonsense.
And
aircraft carrier isn't a walk on your kitchen stove. You can't just decide to build one. I rub my head and give him a look that says, you just don't understand yet. Many years later, grandfather will stand on the deck of an aircraft carrier, remember this conversation, and shout proudly for all to hear. My granddaughter built this.
ha.
I'm so proud. After dinner, I push grandfather into the bathroom for a nice hot bath, then change his sheets and blankets while he's in there. When he comes out, I plan to sit him down for a serious talk. But first he starts pacing around the house, into his study, back to his bedroom, into the study again. Grandpa, what are you doing? You're making me dizzy. He scratches the back of his head, looking furious. Did those bastards take everything from our house? Oh.
Right.
His study is completely empty because I stored everything in my space last night. I can't exactly tell him about the magic pocket dimension. He'd think I'd lost my mind. I touch my nose guiltily. I moved everything to a safe place last night. Those people didn't take a single scrap of paper from us. He sighs deeply and sits on the edge of the bed. His rough hand pats my head. He seems to notice that his granddaughter has somehow grown up overnight, more confident, more cheerful. Come, tell Grandpa. Were you scared today? Did those people bully you? Me? Bullied. I drag over a little red stool and sit beside him, beaming with pride. I grab my chopsticks, flicked them whoosh, whoosh, and pinned two of their guys' wrists. Blood everywhere. They were so scared they stopped smashing our stuff. Pretty impressive, right? His eyebrow twitches. He doesn't quite believe me. Then I add, also, Grandpa Lu, Grandma Li, Grandpa Wei, and Grandma Wu all came to back me up. Those thugs left with their tails between their legs. He nods, satisfied.
Good.
They deserved it. He knows I've always been a wild kid, just like my father. I've trained in martial arts since I was little. Beating up a couple of goons is no big deal. Grandpa, I say, switching to a scheming tone, what if I go around telling people that my step-uncle Jiang Qingwei came to warn me last night? That he felt guilty about what Andy did, trying to take my house, so he secretly tipped me off about the search? Do you think Auntie and her husband would start fighting and scratch each other's faces bloody? He stares at me. If it wasn't your step-uncle who told you, then where did you get your information? I freeze for a second. I overheard him talking. I can't exactly tell Grandfather. He's a character in a novel. Grandpa, do you know who's behind all this? Who's targeting our family? He gives me a stern look. Little kids shouldn't go asking about things like that, and old kids shouldn't try to fool little kids. Then I remember something. I run to my room and come back with a small wooden box from under his bed and his bank book. Here, I found this in your room last night. What's the treasure inside? He doesn't take the box. He pushes it back to me. Your mother left this for you. My mother. The box looks ordinary, plain wood, simple lock. I pick it open in seconds. Inside, a letter, a map, and a property deed for an old estate in Hangzhou. The letter is yellowed with age. It says my maternal grandparents took my uncle's family and went overseas years ago. They left a large fortune for my mother, and she left it all to me. The money is hidden in various spots on a nameless mountain near the family's old estate. The map is on worn leather paper, the red circles marking the hiding spots already faded and blurry. The property deed is on traditional paper with an official red seal, faded but still dignified. My voice goes quiet. Mom says the Luo family left me money and the old Luo estate in Hangzhou. Grandfather sips his tea, clearly already knowing all this. That estate is the largest traditional Chinese manor in Hangzhou. It has hills, water, beautiful scenery. The garden stones date back to the Qianlong era. A wonderful place to retire. We've been protecting it as a cultural site, but now… He pauses. Go see your Grandpa Lu first thing tomorrow morning. Ask him to help keep it safe. It would be a terrible waste if it got destroyed. I nod. If it's mine, I'll protect it. Then Grandpa, let's retire there together someday. He gives me a look. Little girls shouldn't talk nonsense. I grin. Don't worry, old man. In just a few years, the good times are coming. His expression turns serious. Luo, I've arranged for you to be sent to the countryside. The location is near your second uncle's military base. You go there, take care of yourself, and stop getting into fights. The countryside?
Where?
Wait, I thought we were being sent down together. You're a young girl. No need to suffer with me. Where are you going? His voice drops. I'll probably be sent to Heilongjiang province. No way. I'm not going separately. I'm going with you to Heilongjiang. Uncle's area has 2 planting seasons a year. I'm a small girl. I can't handle that much farm work. Heilongjiang only has 1 season. I want to hibernate through winter. He stares at me, speechless. Hibernate. That's all you want to do. You'll be the death of me with your laziness. You go where I tell you to go, or else I'll marry you off. Your parents arranged a childhood betrothal for you, and I think it's perfectly fine. Tomorrow I'm calling that old fellow to seal the deal. I jump to my feet. Old man, how could you be so cruel? You're actually cursing me with marriage. Absolutely not. And if you send me to the countryside by myself, I'll desert. I know the way. I'll run all the way to Heilongjiang on my own. I stomp out and slam the door behind me. This man is impossible. The door frame creaks. Behind me I hear him pick up a shoe and chase after me.
Hey.
You little brat. Get back here. I'll break your legs. As if he could catch me. I sprint to my room, slam the door, lock it in one smooth motion, and shout through the crack. Old man, getting angry is bad for your health. Go to sleep. We might be climbing mountains tomorrow. You little brat, I'll deal with you in the morning. He shuffles back to his room in his slippers. I have to say, that ginseng chicken soup made with spirit spring water works wonders. When he walked through the door tonight, he looked half dead. Now he's running around the house trying to beat me with a shoe. Once he's feeling a bit better, I'll give him the full body cleansing treatment with the spirit spring. Turn him into a dashing old man. I sleep wonderfully knowing grandfather is home safe. Before dawn, I slip past the 2 soldiers guarding our house, scale the courtyard wall using an old locust tree, and head to Grandpa Lu's place. He's doing his morning Tai Chi when my head pops over his wall, nearly giving him a heart attack. He swats at me with his pipe. You little brat. Use the front door like a normal person. You're exactly like your father. I get straight to the point. I tell him I refuse to be sent to the countryside separately from grandfather. I won't do it. I need him to pull some strings so we get sent to the same place. I remind him that I'm strong. I can fight, and with me around, grandfather won't suffer. He's reluctant, so I play dirty. I bring up old war stories. How grandfather stole his kill count on the battlefield, swiped his canned beef, even took his military medal once to impress a girl. These 2 old men have been bickering about petty grudges for decades, but they'd die for each other in a heartbeat.
He sighs.
If I do this, your grandfather will show up at my door and disown me as a friend. Not my problem, I say cheerfully. If you don't help me, I'll desert and run to Heilongjiang on my own. Then you'll have to clean up that mess. I also ask him to protect the Luo family estate in Hangzhou, my inheritance. I tell him it'll be his retirement home too someday. He grumbles about what a menace I am as I flip back over his wall. On my way home, little Yuli is busy tilling soil in our space. She confirms that the body cleansing from the spirit spring has sharpened all my senses. My hearing is incredible now. We chat about raising animals in the space, chickens, ducks, pigs, cows, deer. All delicious possibilities. I'm so lost in thought planning a trip to the black market that I accidentally walk through the front gate instead of climbing back over the wall. The 2 guard soldiers spot me, stunned. "When did you leave?" I give them a sheepish grin. "Just pretend you didn't see me." Then I vault back over the side wall. Behind me I hear them agree to say nothing. Inside, grandfather is up and confused about where Auntie Zhang went. I tell him I sent her home yesterday for her safety. We cook breakfast together: rice porridge, boiled eggs, pickled radish, and last night's reheated chicken soup. We work side by side in the kitchen without needing to coordinate, like we've done this 1,000 times. I bring porridge and eggs out to the 2 young soldiers on guard duty. They protest that accepting food is against regulations. I glance around dramatically. Nobody's looking. Just eat. Over breakfast, I tell grandfather my plan. I need to go out and buy cotton quilts and warm supplies because Heilongjiang is freezing, and we'll need them when we're sent there together. He gets exasperated. "You really insist on coming with me?" I crack an egg against the table. "Obviously. You're the only family I have left in this world. Wherever you go, I go. Even when I die, I'm getting buried right next to you." He grabs a feather duster and chases me around the courtyard. What kind of cursed thing is that to say? "I don't need you buried next to me. Your father alone could annoy me back to life." I dodge him easily, still sipping porridge as I run. "Hey, old man, worry about the living, not the dead. Besides, look at you, you just chased me halfway around the block without breaking a sweat. You're in great shape. Stop pretending to be fragile. Once this blows over, I'm finding you the prettiest old lady on the west side of town to marry." He chases me another lap before finally giving up, pointing at my nose, calling me an unworthy descendant, and going back inside to finish his chicken soup. Because it really is too good to waste. The neighbor lady watches the whole scene and remarks to her husband that old General Li, who never bowed to anyone in his life, only ever acts like a soft old kid around his granddaughter. Her husband nods. Good thing he has a troublemaker like her. Early morning, Qi Xiaofei shows up shouting outside our gate. The 2 guard soldiers won't let her in, so she's perched on top of our courtyard wall like a bird delivering news. She leans in with gossip she can barely contain. My Auntie Li Hiji and her husband Jiang Qinghui were arrested in the middle of the night. Xiaofei heard from Wei Jiangwo that the charges are serious enough for a death sentence. She makes a gun gesture with her fingers. I put on my best surprised face. "Really? That's great news," she goes on. Apparently, when the police arrived, the couple was sleeping so deeply they couldn't be woken up and had to be carried to the station. Also, their house had been robbed. Every valuable thing was gone. Nothing left but old clothes. And their daughter Jiang Qi has vanished completely. The police have issued a citywide arrest warrant with a 100 yuan reward. I try not to smile. Nobody's ever collecting that reward. Inside, grandfather hears everything too. He just sighs quietly and keeps eating. He did everything he could for his younger brother's family. His conscience is clear. I shoo Xiaofei away. She protests that she wasn't done talking yet, then hops off the wall and leaves. One of the young soldiers mutters, "No wonder they're best friends, same wall climbing skills. Time to get to work." I change into a faded pair of work clothes, stuff my hair under a flat blue cap pulled low over my face, and smear some soot on my cheeks to fake stubble. Canvas bag over my shoulder. I look exactly like a young factory worker heading to his shift. I make a little noise climbing over the wall on purpose, then vanish before the soldiers can react. I head to the black market. The original Li Luoyu came here once out of curiosity, so I know the basics. 2 old men sit at the alley entrance pretending to chat. One taps his pipe against a stone. That's the lookout signal. The other calls out loudly about being curd while tapping his knee 3 times, meaning all clear. In a hidden corner, I pull a basket from my space and load it with bags of white rice and cured meat. Then I stroll into the alley. A limping old man at the entrance asks, "Buying or selling?" "Selling." I pay the 2-cent entrance fee and walk in. Buying cotton quilts was just my excuse to grandfather. I have plenty of bedding in my space. What I actually want is baby livestock. Chicks, piglets, ducklings, things I can raise in my space so I never run out of fresh meat. The morning market is almost over. I find a spot, squat down, and open my basket to show off the rice and the meat, still glistening with frost. A woman in a floral apron appears instantly, clutching a handful of potatoes, eyes locked on my goods. How much for the rice, young man? 8 jiao per pound with ration tickets, 1 yuan without. Cured meat is 1 yuan with tickets, 150 without. That's 4 or 5 times the state store price, but the state store has monthly limits and my quality is much better. In the black market, good product is king. Highway robbery, the woman sputters, but I catch her swallowing when she sees the fat marbling on the cured meat. An old man in a skullcap beside her speaks up calmly. No tickets. Give me 10 pounds of rice and 5 pounds of meat. I borrow his scale, make a show of weighing everything fairly, and toss in a couple extra handfuls. 1750. Within half an hour, my basket is empty. I scoop the last bit of rice into a bag and hand it to the old man who lent me his scale.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Take this home and make yourself some porridge. He waves his bony hands. No, I can't. It was just a scale. But I can see his eyes are wet. Times are hard. Most ordinary people are barely scraping by, not quite starving but never full. I push the rice into his hands and smile. Actually, I wanted to ask you something. I'm looking to buy some baby pigs and chicks. Know anyone who sells them? He wipes his eyes with his sleeve and glances behind him. There's a fellow called Old Joe with a bad leg, he whispers. Lives right next door to me. Want me to take you? Let's go right now. The old man from the market, Grandpa Huang, walks me to a small village on the west side of the city. It takes about an hour. We circle around to the back of the village, past some half-collapsed mud houses, until we reach a door. 3 knocks. I hear a limping shuffle inside, then a rusty hinge squeaks open, revealing half a face covered in knife scars. I don't flinch. In my previous life, I dealt with rotting zombies and mutant dogs that ate human brains. A scarred face is nothing. I even have time to notice the scar runs perpendicular to his muscle fibers, probably a knife slash from a fight. This is Old Joe. He sizes me up and immediately sees through my disguise. He knows I'm a girl, not a young man. But he doesn't seem to mind. My eyes are calm, no disgust or fear, which is clearly different from what he usually gets. What do you want? How much? He asks. I grin. Chickens, ducks, geese, rabbits, pigs, cows, sheep, whatever you've got, I'll take. He laughs. Big appetite. Follow me. In this era, keeping livestock is tightly controlled. Each rural household can only raise 2 chickens and 1 rabbit. City residents can't raise animals at all. Extra eggs go to the collective. Raising large animals without approval can get you paraded through town with a sign around your neck. Old Joe warns me that a neighbor was caught with 3 chickens last week and publicly humiliated. I smile. Once I walk out that door, I never saw you and you never saw me. He studies my eyes for a long moment, then grins. Come in. His yard is a secret treasure trove. He's been doing black market livestock trading for years, buying sick or weak babies from farmers, nursing them back to health, and selling them at a premium. Not even the local officials would guess what's hidden behind this broken-down house. I pick out 2 piglets, 2 baby goats, 2 calves, 2 rabbits, all in male-female pairs, and 10 chicks. 300 yuan total. Grandpa Huang and I leave carrying 4 big cages. At the village entrance, I stop and hand Grandpa Huang a big handful of white rabbit candies. Thank you for today. Give these to the children, he protests. Candies are a luxury, and offers to help carry the cages home. I take all 4 from him, 2 on each arm, and bounce them lightly. I'm stronger than I look. I wave goodbye and walk off. Around the corner, once I'm sure nobody's watching, I send all 4 cages into my space and hand them over to Liuli. Little Liuli, these are your responsibility now. If you don't know how to care for them, there's an animal husbandry manual in the study. She looks up at the sky with the expression of someone questioning her life choices. I pull out a bicycle and pedal home, worrying out loud about whether grandfather has eaten the porridge and eggs I left him. I decide I need to cook extra food and store it in my space for our upcoming journey. Steamed buns and boiled eggs are the most practical travel food. On the way, I stop at a state-run restaurant and order braised pork, braised spare ribs, and 10 meat buns to go. The woman behind the counter looks at my scruffy disguise with open contempt, practically sneering as she serves me. When I leave, she mutters, "Cheapskate," behind my back. I'm about to let it go when I glance back and see a tall, handsome soldier step up to the window. The same woman's droopy face transforms instantly. Suddenly she's all smiles and honey, cooing at him, sneaking extra ribs into his container until the sauce overflows. I pedal back to the window, flash my brightest smile at her, and say loudly, "Snob." The customers around us go silent. The soldier freezes, with his enamel mug in midair. The woman's face turns beet red. She opens her mouth to curse at me but catches the soldier watching, so she swallows her words and digs her nails into her palms instead. Feeling much better, I strut away without a care in the world. When I climb back over my courtyard wall, I hear exactly what I was hoping to hear: 2 old men screaming at each other inside the house. Absolutely not. Lou, you old mule, get that idea out of your head. She's my only granddaughter. I'll kill you before I let you mess with her life. Lee, you stubborn donkey. Who do you think I'm doing this for? Hey, put down that stool leg. How do you have this much energy? The 2 of them are going back and forth, stubborn donkey, this, old mule, that, shouting so loud the guard soldiers outside are covering their ears. I smile. Grandpa Lou came through. He's fighting to get me sent to Heilongjiang with grandfather instead of being separated. The fact that they're arguing means grandfather is resisting, which means Grandpa Lou made the request. It's working. The soldiers exhale with relief when they see me. Their little troublemaker is finally home. I lean against the doorframe and watch the 2 old men argue across the stone table, grandfather gripping his clay teapot on one side, Grandpa Lou waving his pipe on the other. I helpfully shout, "Grandpa Lou, dodge left." His teacup is coming. Grandpa Lou stumbles back just in time. Grandfather glares at me. "Stay out of it, brat. He won't throw his precious teapot, so he flings a shoe instead." "Grandpa, use your sweep kick. Attack his legs." I egg him on. Grandfather instinctively swings his leg, an old move from his cavalry days, but Grandpa Lou blocks it with his own foot. "You think you're still lassoing horses on the plains?" I pull a fruit candy from my pocket and start unwrapping it. The crinkling sound makes both old men stop fighting and turn their fire on me. "Brat, you finally decide to come home." "Brat, what are you wearing? Don't you have any self-awareness as a girl?" I look down at my blue work shirt and scuffed canvas shoes. Right, I'm still dressed as a young man. I pat my short hair. "You could tell it was me?" Grandfather snorts. "I'm not blind. Though honestly, if I hadn't been standing there grinning like I was watching a show, I think the teapot would have hit me before he recognized me." Grandpa Lou inspects my disguise with a critical eye. Face is still too smooth. Needs more soot. When I was undercover in the grasslands, I smeared 3 layers of sheep dung on myself. Even wolves couldn't smell the human. He bends down and peels back my shoe, revealing the insoles I stuffed in for height. 5 centimeters. When I snuck into the captain's tall boots back in the cavalry, even I didn't think this far ahead. I changed the subject. "Grandpa Lou, did it work?" He smiles. "It worked." Grandfather points at my nose, furious. "You brat. I told you to go to the countryside like a normal youth. Now you've gone and gotten yourself roped into something worse, and you don't even know it." We move inside to the empty study. I dig out a packet of Westlake Longjing tea from Grandfather's drawer, brew a pot, and sit down to listen. Grandpa Lou takes a sip and explains. 3 important people are being sent down alongside us to Heilongjiang. 1 is an aircraft carrier researcher. 1 is an agriculture expert. The 3rd is a master of traditional Chinese medicine, a national treasure. My real role isn't just accompanying Grandfather. I've been assigned by the organization as a secret operative. My job is to protect these 3 people until the old generals can arrange to bring them back. The times are dangerous, and these experts are critical to the country's future. He hands me a leather envelope. Inside, dossiers on the 3 people, an identity booklet, and a Special Operations Handbook. Special Operations Unit.
Liluoyo.
Agent number 666. I nod. Nice number. I like it. The Special Operations Unit answers directly to the central government, managed by the military's top commander. They handle national security, counterespionage, and major criminal cases, basically this era's version of a national intelligence agency. This is one of the differences between this book world and real history that I've been noticing. The details of the political movement are different too. I don't recognize the specific people or events driving it. Otherwise, I'd consider some creative problem-solving to get society back on track faster. Grandpa Lu's voice softens. Your parents were martyrs. You should be living under protection, not doing this. Sending your grandfather away is actually a way to keep him safe. You're smart, you're strong. Your grandfather trained you himself. With you there, us old folks can rest a little easier. I ask the important question. Does it come with a salary? Because I don't work for free. He nearly chokes on his tea. Yes, 126 yuan per month, plus meat and cloth ration tickets. Your assignment location is the Xiangyang Brigade of Red Flag Commune in Heilongjiang Province. The pay comes through as educated youth subsidies on the 5th of each month. He hands me another envelope. 3 months advance pay. Use it to stock up on supplies. I pout. So, basically, I'm just a supply depot. My salary goes straight to feeding everyone. Grandfather was right. I'm a total sucker. Grandpa Lu whacks me with his pipe. You little brat. Your grandfather's salary wouldn't interest me. But appearances must be maintained. And protecting these people means protecting the backbone of this country. I rub my head and look at grandfather for sympathy. Are you just going to watch me get hit? He humps. You asked for this. I told you to go to the countryside quietly. You insisted on jumping into muddy waters. Looking at the sly gleam in Grandpa Lu's eyes, I finally understand. I walked right into this trap all by myself. I demanded to go with grandfather, and they turned my stubbornness into a mission. Grandpa Lu laughs and taps his teapot lid. When you were a baby, you almost didn't survive. I sold my cavalry boots just to buy you milk powder. Now it's your turn to be the human milk powder can for others. Seems fair. I sigh dramatically. They say, sly old fox. That's exactly what you are. Another whack from the pipe. Show some respect, brat. Fine. The original Li Luoyu owed these old men a debt from childhood. I'll take the job. After all, watching one sheep or herding a whole flock, it's all the same amount of work. After Grandpa Lu leaves, I wash off my disguise and head to the kitchen with grandfather. He barely ate at lunch, so tonight I'm making him a proper meal. My plan is simple. Over the next 3 months, I'm going to feed this old man until he's healthy and strong enough to chase me for 2 miles without getting winded. I pretend to pull a big pork knuckle and a slab of pork from my backpack, then grab some baby bok choy from the garden. Tonight's menu: pork trotter stew with soybeans cooked in spirit spring water, stir-fried greens, plus the braised pork and meat buns I bought earlier. A solid spread. While washing vegetables, I ask casually, Old man, when did Grandpa Lu say we're leaving? Tomorrow morning. Early train. All right, then help me chop meat filling. We'll steam buns for the road. He takes the knife without enthusiasm, but starts chopping. After a long silence, he says quietly, Luo, once you've taken this job, you can't walk away whenever you want. Are you sure about this? I pour spirit spring water into the stew pot when he's not looking. You've been dragged into this mess, Grandpa. How can I just sit back and watch an old man suffer alone? If Dad knew I abandoned you, he'd climb out of his grave to scold me. Besides, nobody can control me if I don't want to be controlled. Trust your granddaughter. I'm not ordinary. He watches me brag shamelessly and just twitches his mouth. I try again. Tell me who our family's enemies are. Even if I can't get revenge right now, at least I can stir things up. Something flies past my cheek, a chunk of something he threw. You? They grind your bones to dust and feed them to dogs. His cloudy eyes burn with anger. I've already lost the fight. What chance does a kid like you have? I dodge and shoot back. You keep calling me a little cub, but this cub has claws too. He looks at me baring my teeth and his anger fades. He laughs in spite of himself.
Fine.
When it's time for you to know, you'll know. I know his stubbornness. When he won't talk, his mouth is harder than a rock. I'll just investigate on my own. I drop the topic and start kneading dough. The buns need fluffy dough. But this era doesn't have instant yeast. When grandfather isn't looking, I sneak a packet from my space and mix it into the flour. While the dough rises, I ask about the people we're protecting. Grandfather tells me about them one by one. Grandpa Chui was my father's first mentor in weapons research. My father could assemble guns blindfolded by age 10 under his guidance. Recently, Grandpa Chui was labeled a reactionary technical authority, a devastating accusation in this era. It means losing everything: your title, your reputation, even your basic rights. He was beaten so badly during a struggle session that his thumb was broken. My blood runs hot. Grandfather pats my shoulder and continues. Grandpa Pei is a master of traditional Chinese medicine. When I was a baby, I nearly died before age 3. During a blizzard, I caught pneumonic plague. Grandpa Pei stuck acupuncture needles across my entire body and risked his life buying rare rhino horn powder from the black market to save me. Then there's Yang Zibin, a researcher from the Agricultural Science Academy. He developed a cold-resistant wheat variety that can survive winter in the black soil of the Northeast and produce double the yield of standard crops. His research could feed millions. Why would they send him away? I ask, shocked. That research should be in trials immediately. Grandfather stabs at the meat filling with his chopsticks, jaw tight. Jealousy. His wheat could double food production in areas that depend on weather. But some fools claimed it was capitalist-style high yield, that he was stockpiling grain for reactionary forces. Last month, someone slipped laxatives into his food. Grandpa Lu's people, disguised as kitchen staff, fished half a tablet out of the slop bucket as evidence. I'm beyond words. The absurdity and cruelty of it all leaves me speechless. By the time we finish talking, the dough has risen, and the filling is ready. Watching plump white buns fill the steamer tray helps ease the tension in my chest. The soybean pork trotter soup fills the whole kitchen with its aroma. Grandfather's eyes light up. This smells better than Annie Zhang's cooking. Then eat plenty tonight. I skim the fat off the soup and hand it to him, then quickly stir-fry the greens and reheat the braised pork and store-bought buns. Dinner is served. Grandfather surveys the table. We don't even eat this well during New Year. I put a bun on his plate. The meat buns and braised pork are from the state restaurant. Eat up. Whatever's left, we'll have for breakfast. Who knows what kind of trouble they'll give us tomorrow. He nods and digs in one sip of soup, one bite of bun, head down, serious eating. I bring a few buns to the soldiers outside. Have some. We leave tomorrow, won't get another chance. After dinner I steam one more huge batch. About 30 buns total, enough for emergencies on the road. Before bed, I focus on upgrading my psychic ability. My lightning power is already at level 3, but my wood and psychic abilities are still at level 1. The psychic power is most urgent. It lets me scan a wider area and detect hostile intentions. If I can reach level 3 tonight, my range will extend to a full kilometer. My 3 abilities each have different uses. Lightning is for combat, but I can't use it openly in this world or I'll be treated as a freak. Wood power controls plants. Eventually I'll be able to grow vines and use them as whips, but that requires level 6. Psychic power is the most versatile. I can mess with people's senses, spread my awareness like a spider web to detect movement, and even control small creatures from a distance. I feel like I've barely closed my eyes when Grandfather shakes me awake. Get up.
Eat.
They're coming. I check my watch. 3:30 in the morning. He's already up, porridge steaming on the table with 6 buns lined up neatly. He must have woken even earlier. The spirit spring soup from last night clearly helped. He says his stomach felt warm all night and his legs don't ache anymore. He gives me a serious look. Luo Luo, no matter how they treat us today, keep your temper in check. Understood. Yeah, I mumble through a mouthful of porridge. I dash to the kitchen and sweep the remaining rice, flour, dried goods, and a basin of lard into my space. The old pots and bowls aren't worth taking, but the sharp kitchen knife gets saved. I clear my bedroom too, blankets, clothes, everything goes into my space. An empty room is all that's left. In Grandfather's room, I look at his threadbare belongings and wince. His blanket is so old the cotton has gone shiny. His clothes are all patches on top of patches. I'll get him new things later. By 4 a.m. we're done packing. Our total luggage is 2 cloth bundles. I find a chess set on top of the cabinet. The pieces were hand-carved by my father. I set up the board. Old man, we've got time. Want to play? He smiles wearily. You're calm about this. That's the Lee family spirit. What am I supposed to do, cry? I make the first move. We don't finish the game. A group of young men wearing red armbands burst through the courtyard gate, kicking the door so hard it rattles. The leader is a tall guy with a wooden stick, eyes mean under his cap.
Li Wan, Li Luoyu.
Let's go. His crew rushes inside to ransack the place, but comes back deflated. Boss, there's nothing. The place is empty. The tall guy is annoyed. He strides over and swipes his stick across our chessboard, scattering the pieces. You've got time to play chess? Move it. A district commander's house, and there's not even enough to interest a ghost. What a waste of my morning. I was one move away from beating grandfather. I stare at the general, piece rolling by my foot, morning anger surging. Just as I'm about to unleash my temper, grandfather grabs my arm. Let's go. Not worth it. I look at the scattered chess pieces, each one carved by my father's hands. I kneel down and pick them up one by one, tucking them into my canvas bag. The tall guy raises his stick to hurry me along, but catches grandfather's eyes. He freezes. Grandfather may look old, but he's a general who fought in over 100 battles. His gaze is like a frozen lake, calm on the surface, deadly underneath. The tall guy swallows hard. He notices that between us, we're carrying just 2 cloth bags, yet we carry ourselves like the high-ranking officers he's seen before, people who kept their belts straight even while being dragged from their homes. Move, he barks, his stick accidentally banging the doorframe. I walk arm in arm with grandfather, listening to the red armbands whispering behind us. Why does that old man look so scary? You don't know. He fought in the war against America. On the battlefield, he went berserk, snapped an enemy's neck with his bare hands, and recently, when they caught a spy ring, he just stared at the spy leader until the guy's legs were shaking. Seriously? My cousin's uncle's nephew told me himself. Okay, let's be nice then. If the boss tells us to spit on them, let's hide in the back. Yeah, grab her guzzy too. Don't let that hothead start anything. I squeeze grandfather's arm. Pretty impressive reputation, old man. He laughs. Your grandfather is always your grandfather. I glance back at the whispering young men. Most of them are just teenagers, middle school kids caught up in political fever, following orders without really understanding what they're doing. They're not truly bad, just blind. Hey, Lisi, I call back. And you, the lively one, grab her guzzy too. You should all go to the countryside. This red armband business isn't for you. Go do honest work. Study hard. Be decent people. They stare at me, confused. I turn back to grandfather and keep walking. After a while, the lively one jogs up beside me, face red. Big sister. My name is Wang Xiao. Okay, Wang Xiao. Remember, walk straight and you'll walk far. Both boys nod hard, like they're making a promise. They may not be good students, but they know right from wrong. These past weeks of strutting around with red armbands have been exciting, but watching grandfather and me walk into our punishment laughing and talking, still full of light, something shifts in them. For the first time, those armbands feel tight on their arms. Maybe it's time to take them off and walk their own path. Half an hour later, we arrive at a courtyard with a sign reading, Investigation Committee Office Building. The cement is cracked, weeds push through the gaps, and slogans about destroying the old cover the walls. In the yard, dozens of people stand hunched in 3 rows, ragged clothes, shaved heads, signs around their necks labeling them reactionary authorities, shoe prints on their backsides. Young men with red armbands are smearing ink on their faces and clothes with big brushes. Some are spitting on them, thick globs of phlegm sticking to their shirts. My enhanced eyesight makes every disgusting detail painfully clear. I nearly throw up my breakfast. Revolting. A shrill voice screams at us from the steps. Hey, you lot.
Deaf.
Get in line. A skinny tall guy storms toward us, waving a leather belt. I don't move. Neither does grandfather. That crowd is filthy, and I refuse to stand in it. Grandfather glances at me, surprised that I'm holding my ground so calmly. He quietly approves. Honestly, he doesn't want ink and spit on him either. I'm already calculating the angle to crack skinny guy's ribs when he suddenly stops dead. His eyes land on my wrists, pale, delicate, and he recognizes us. He was there 2 days ago when I pinned his buddy's wrists with chopsticks. The doctor said those hands are permanently ruined. He swallows, redirects his yelling at someone else, and scrambles away. Grandfather raises an eyebrow at me. I raise one back. He realizes the guy wasn't scared of him, he was scared of me. I think the old man's pride takes a small hit. Then Wang Weihua, the investigation committee chief, finally shows up on his bicycle, trailed by a few greasy-looking lackeys. He spots us and frowns, but the skinny guy pulls him aside and whispers urgently, "That's the Li tyrant. The little demon from the military compound. She's the one who crippled Wang Wu's hand with chopsticks." Wang Weihua sneaks a glance my way. I give him a half-smile that says, "Try something and see what happens." He decides he'd rather not lose face in public, so he ignores us entirely, climbs onto the platform, and grabs the microphone. He launches into a speech, the usual stuff about rooting out demons and monsters, crushing old ideas, punishing people who think education makes them superior. His voice cracks through the lousy speakers. He compares the condemned people to weeds that need to be pulled out by the roots. A few people in the crowd cheer weakly. Most stay silent. I notice Wang Weihua keeps glancing at me while I play with a piece of grass, looking thoroughly unbothered. Sweat beads on his forehead. He suddenly wraps up, "You are all hereby sent to farms, labor camps, and re-education." Meeting dismissed. I look at grandfather in disbelief. That's it. In every novel I've read about this era, people getting sent down are pelted with rocks, rotten eggs, and worse. But apparently my reputation with chopsticks has earned us a smooth exit. Not a single glob of spit comes our way. A voice crackles through the speaker. Li Yuan, Li Luoyu, Chui Fu, Pei Su, Su Fenghua, Yang Jibin, report to the front gate. We're leaving. At the gate, a beat-up liberation truck waits with, "Serve the people," painted on the door. A flat-nosed young man in a red armband stands in the truck bed shouting for us to get on. He's in charge of escorting us to the train station, about 10 kilometers away. Just then, Qi Xiaofei comes racing up on her bicycle, panting so hard she's practically shooting sparks from the pedals. "Little Li, I went to your house, but you'd already left. Thank goodness I caught you." She shoves a bundle into my arms. "My mom packed this for you. Eat it on the road." Right behind her, Wei Jiangwo arrives with an enormous bundle that practically buries me. "My mom made this one. Don't lose it." I take both packages and give them quick instructions. I ask Jiangwo to check on my parents' graves at the martyr cemetery. Auntie Li Haji told me the pine trees there were cut down, and I need to know if it's true. I ask Xiaofei to keep an eye on the courtyard house my father gave me, the one Jiang Qi always had her eye on. It's been rented to the neighborhood office for 2 years. Make sure they pay rent on time, and if anyone damages it, write to me. And when you two finally get married, I add, write me immediately. Even if I can't come back, I'm sending a big gift. They both nod firmly and promise to handle everything in Beijing. Whatever I need, they'll ship it to me. The flat-nosed escort kicks the truck impatiently. Enough talking. Get on. I wave goodbye, hand the smaller bundle to grandfather, and climb aboard. Nice friends I have. They actually came to see me off. Grandfather grunts. Are you saying my old friends aren't as good? Well, your old friends just give orders and send the young ones running. They didn't even come say goodbye to you. By the way, what did Grandpa Wei's family put in here? It weighs a ton. Grandfather says nothing, but I can tell that one stung a little. Grandfather and I climb into the truck and grab onto the rusty frame, squeezing into a corner. Once we're steady, I get my first real look at the people I'm supposed to protect. They're a mess. Clothes torn, ink smeared across their faces. Grandpa Chui has a fresh wound on his knee. But wait, there are 4 people, not 3. There's a grandmother too. Grandfather introduces everyone. Grandpa Chui, the weapons researcher. Grandpa Yang, the agriculture scientist. Grandpa Pei, the traditional medicine master. And Grandma Su, who I wasn't expecting. She's Grandpa Pei's wife. She's about 50, wearing a faded blue shirt that's been roughed up by the red armbands. When she heard her husband was being sent away, she marched to the committee office with their household registration and demanded they stamp her papers too, so she could go with him. Childhood sweethearts, growing old together. So that kind of love really does exist outside of books. I greet them all politely. They look a little embarrassed about how dirty they are next to clean little me. Grandma Sue tries to offer me a candy from her pocket, but comes up empty. I shake my head and hand her a clean handkerchief and my military water canteen instead. She immediately starts wiping the ink off Grandpa Pei's face. He's been a clean man his whole life. She can't stand seeing him like this. I pass handkerchiefs to Grandpa Chui and Grandpa Yang too. Even when we're at rock bottom, we should still face the sun. They smile. Smart girl. The train station is chaos. I feel like a dried radish crammed into a sardine can, sweaty bodies pressing from every direction, my feet getting trampled, no way to walk on my own. I grip grandfather's arm like my life depends on it. A grandfather this good doesn't come around twice. The two red armband escorts clear a path ahead by shouting, "Make way. Don't let the stinking intellectuals touch you. You'll catch bourgeois fleas." I want to hit him with a brick. But it works. The crowd parts like we're carrying a plague, and a narrow path opens up. After much shoving, grandfather and I finally make it onto the green train. I settle him into a seat, hand him the water canteen, and tell him to rest. Then I fight my way back through the packed corridor. Grandma Sue is trapped near the bathroom door, hair sticking up everywhere, with Grandpa Pei shielding her against the metal wall. I grab them both by the arms and pull them to the seats across from grandfather. Next rescue mission. Grandpa Chui is wedged in the gap between two train cars, stuck, face red. Grandpa Yang is pinned against a wall by someone's burlap sack on the luggage rack. I tilt my head, use my full strength, and yank them both free, basically plucking them out of the crowd like pulling turnips from the ground. Their faces go white. They clutch their chests. I deposit them safely in their seats. Everyone's accounted for. Grandma Sue by the window, Grandpa Pei and Grandpa Yang beside her, and across the aisle, grandfather by the window, then Grandpa Chui, then me. 6 people total. All present. I'm the most responsible bodyguard there is. Grandpa Lu owes me a bonus. Our seats aren't great, right next to the bathroom between 2 cars. Normally, people being sent down don't get assigned seats at all. They stand for the entire trip if there's nowhere to sit. But Grandpa Lu pulled some strings, so at least we have somewhere to rest our legs. I look at everyone's disheveled state and can't help laughing. Old man, is this your first time being squeezed into a human pancake? How do you like it? Grandfather rolls his eyes and ignores me. Grandpa Chui speaks up. Literally, when you grabbed me back there, whoosh, I felt my whole body leave the ground. Nearly gave me a heart attack. Now I know what pilots mean when they say, the body flies forward and the soul chases behind. Grandpa Yang nods vigorously. Seriously, my heart jumped into my throat. How strong are you? The 2 of us weigh over 300 pounds combined, and you just yanked us up like we were vegetables. I lift my chin proudly. That's my special technique, the human catapult. Free of charge. Sorry for the scare. Next time I'll give you a warning and strap you in first. Grandpa Yang waves his hands. Please don't. My old heart can't take it. Everyone laughs, the first real laughter any of them have had in a long time. Grandfather passes his water canteen around. I encourage everyone to drink plenty. The water is secretly spirit spring water that Lioli diluted 10,000 times. It won't transform their bodies, but it'll ease their aches. I take a swig from my own private canteen, pure, undiluted spirit spring water. The cool sweetness calms the heat in my chest. The ceiling fan rattles overhead as I scan the noisy car. Our train starts in Beijing and ends in Heilongjiang. We get off 5 stops before the last. The car is ridiculously packed for a starting station. The aisle is crammed with bags and baskets. Someone's live chickens are squawking in a bamboo cage, and every face carries some shade of sadness or anxiety. Then I spot something odd, an old woman holding a sleeping child. She's wearing a gray shirt with a headscarf hiding half her face, and there's a corn kernel-sized mole behind her ear. Her fingernail is tapping the seat crack in a precise, steady rhythm.
Too precise. Inuj gran pakui.
He follows my gaze, and his drowsy eyes snap wide open. He's spent 30 years in military weapons research. He's survived assassinations, poisonings, and ambushes. He recognizes the pattern immediately. Standard Morse code. He whispers, barely audible. Message. Got it. Meet at next station. I study the old woman more carefully. The baby in her arms is adorable. Round cheeks, fair skin. But the old woman has sharp, slanted eyes and a pointed chin. Zero resemblance to the child. Her right hand holds a bag positioned to hide something. I sweep the whole car with my psychic power and identify two accomplices. One is a thick-faced man in blue work clothes with a knife scar on his left eyebrow and a handgun tucked at his waist. The other is a woman around 30 in a red floral shirt with pierced ear scars, holding a baby whose bottle was laced with sleeping drugs. I mark all three with psychic trackers so I won't lose them. Novels were right. Trains are where trouble happens. Grandpa Chui starts to get up to find the conductor, but I pull him back down.
Don't spook them yet.
There are accomplices in this car. Wait until the train's moving. The two red armband escorts finally squeeze their way to us, uniforms disheveled. The flat-nosed one, Wang Hu, starts mouthing off, calling the old folks old things. I cut him short with a cold look. Watch your mouth. Who are you calling old things? He puffs up to argue, but his partner drags him away to sit down before things escalate. I close my eyes and pretend to rest, but my psychic awareness blankets the entire car. The train whistle blows, and we lurch forward. I stand up to find the conductors. Wang, who immediately blocks me. Hey, you people can't wander around. He's technically right. We're supposed to stay in sight. I point toward the bathroom. I need to use the toilet. He glances at grandfather, figures I won't run with my old man sitting right there, and waves me through. Make it quick. I push through several foul-smelling cars until I find two railway police officers near the sleeper section. Comrades, I have something to report. Not here, somewhere private. They lead me to their small office compartment. There are 3 human traffickers in car 12. I say. First, an old woman in a gray shirt, headscarf, corn-sized mole on the back of her neck, holding a chubby baby that isn't hers. Second, a heavy-set man in blue work clothes, knife scar on his left eyebrow, handgun at his waist. Third, a woman around 30, red floral shirt, pierced ear scars. The baby she's holding was drugged. There were sleeping pills in the milk bottle. The child is still unconscious. The older officer's eyes widen. He tells me that just before departure, armed soldiers boarded the train searching for a kidnapped child, the grandson of a military brigade commander. And now a teenage girl has already spotted the suspects? How did you figure all this out? I look him in the eye. Observation. If you don't move fast, they're getting off at the next stop. The younger officer jumps up and runs out to get backup. The older officer studies me. You're sharp, young lady. Ever thought about working as railway police? We deal with traffickers, spies, thieves, and smugglers constantly. Someone with your eye would make our jobs a lot easier. I'm surprised. Job offers don't usually come this easily. But I shake my head. I'm going to the countryside with my grandfather. Being sent down. Not really in a position to join the police. His expression shifts. He knows he can't do anything about that. After a pause, he says quietly, well, wherever you end up, you'll find a way to shine. He tells me later that he's seen many children of condemned intellectuals on these trains, eyes full of fear or emptiness. But mine are different. There's fire in them, like tempered steel, carrying a sharpness and clarity that doesn't belong to someone my age. The younger officer returns with 5 armed soldiers, real veterans. I can tell from how they hold their weapons. I brief them quickly and lead them back toward car 12. But when we get close, I hear shouting. A male-educated youth who couldn't get a seat has wandered into our car and spotted the stinking intellectuals sitting comfortably with water and conversation. He's lost it. He kicks over a tea mug and screams, "How dare you people have seats? You should give them up to people who actually deserve them." Others pile on immediately. A factory worker slams his fist on a chair. I've been making steel for 10 years. And couldn't buy a seat ticket, but these stinking intellectuals get to sit. An old farmer wipes his sweat. I've been hauling baskets through 3 cars and my legs are cramping. These people have their backsides welded to the seats. A woman with a sleeping child. Stand up. Can't you see my baby is exhausted? Have you no conscience? Let the working people sit. We're the glorious ones. The chanting builds. Give up your seats. Give up your seats. Grandpa Chui and the others go pale. Their knees tremble as they start to stand. Grandfather sighs and rises too. I hear the noise from down the corridor, and fury shoots straight to my head. If these were zombies, I'd cut them down without thinking. I forget about the soldiers behind me. I leap across seat frames, weaving through the crowd at inhuman speed, and land on top of a seat. Then I shout with everything I have. I dare anyone to try. I mix a thread of psychic pressure into my voice. The sound hits like a shockwave. Eardrums ring. A few people closest to me clap their hands over their ears, blood trickling from their noses. The car goes dead silent. The male youth stiffens his neck. Who do you think you are? I look down at him with cold eyes and pull my red stamp credentials from my bag. The great leader said, "Without investigation, there is no right to speak. Have any of you investigated who we are before insulting us? Who gave you that right? The party teaches us to serve the people, not to whip people into a mob that devours its own." I pull out a yellowed certificate. My father, Li Yanji. My mother, Luo Ji. Both national-level researchers. The dual-purpose machine gun your soldiers carry right now, my father helped design it. They were murdered by foreign spies while protecting state secrets and the lives of the people. I am the child of martyrs. Did I ever shout slogans in your face? I point to grandfather. My grandfather fought in the Pingdu campaign, the Yangtze Crossing, the war against America. In the Wuching campaign, he personally led troops through enemy lines and turned the tide of battle. He spent half his life at war, over 100 battles. His medal box can't hold them all. Now he's been framed and sent down.
Does he deserve to be cursed by you?
You're not insulting stinking intellectuals. You're insulting an old hero who traded his life for your peace. I sweep my gaze across every face in the car. Tell me, can he sit here? The whole car answers. Yes, I point to Grandpa Chui. This man is a military weapons researcher. He spent 10 years in the Gobi Desert eating sand, his fingers burned raw from experiments, his little finger permanently ruined. He can't even hold a pen without shaking. You're not cursing an intellectual, you're cursing a man who gave his body for this country. Can he sit here? Yes. Grandpa Pei is a master of traditional Chinese medicine. His asthma medicine is still sold in hospitals across the country. 5,000 years of medical knowledge, and from your mouths it becomes garbage? Do you not think? And Grandma Sue, she's a legendary obstetrician. The baby she delivered in 1 year could fill 10 train cars. Her photo still hangs in the Beijing hospital hallway as a model worker. She's only here because she refused to let her husband go alone. Does she deserve your insults? And Grandpa Yang, 20 years in the fields developing high-yield rice. His new varieties can fill the grain stores of 3 provinces. Every 10 bowls of rice you eat, 3 came from his work. I take a deep breath and look at every single person in the car. Tell me, can they sit here? The answer shakes the walls. Yes. Let me tell you something. We've been framed and sent down. You call us stinking intellectuals. But every one of us was born under the red flag and raised in the spring wind. And every one of us has more dignity, more backbone, and a straighter spine than any of you. Applause erupts across the car. The factory worker who started it all is in tears. He bows 90 degrees. You're right. The sacrifices of our elders gave us this peace. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I step aside. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to them. The ones who carried the weight. I hop down from the seat, catch the eyes of the soldiers standing frozen at the door, and walk straight toward the old woman with the stolen child. Before the old woman can finish screaming, I kick her over and stand on her back with the baby safe in my arms. Drop the act. You're a human trafficker. On the other side of the car, The lead soldier has already grabbed the second stolen child. His men have the scar-faced man and the woman in the red shirt handcuffed, the man's gun confiscated. The old woman can't get up. She sees her partner's caught and starts wailing, slapping the floor like a toad. Murder. Help! This girl is stealing my grandson. Just because she's a martyr's child doesn't give her the right. She can't figure out how she was caught. Every other job went smoothly. Now her only option is to make a scene and hope for a miracle. I don't feel like listening to her filth, so I kick her jaw out of place. Shut up. A baby this beautiful couldn't possibly be the grandchild of someone who looks like you. I unwrap the headscarf from the little boy so everyone can see him.
Clearly.
The passengers are completely confused. One second they were watching people apologize to the old intellectuals. The next I'm kicking an old lady and calling her a kidnapper. A brave auntie comes over, looks at the baby in my arms, then flips the old woman face up for comparison. She nods firmly. The girl's right. This baby is fair and chubby. This old woman has a mean face, pointy chin, slanted brows. No way they're related. Others chime in. I thought she was weird from the start. She said the baby had a cold and couldn't be exposed to air, wrapped him up tight like a dumpling. My granddaughter is the same age. What grandmother wraps her own grandchild like that? And look, we've been shouting this whole time, and the baby didn't wake up once. They must have drugged him. The passengers piece it together one by one while the old woman lies on the floor with her dislocated jaw, drooling and making gurgling sounds. Pathetic. I nudge her with my foot and glance at the remaining two soldiers. She's yours now. They haul her up like a chicken and drag her away to join her partners. The lead soldier, a young military officer, looks at me with open admiration. Nice moves. Ever thought about joining the army? That's 2 job offers in 10 minutes. Am I that popular? I hand him the baby and shake my head with a smile. No thanks. I'm going to the countryside to take care of my grandfather. He sighs quietly. I can tell he's heard about our family situation. He mentions that his own grandfather has been trying to help behind the scenes, broken several teacups in frustration at his study desk. But Beijing politics are out of their reach from the southwest. He looks down at the 2 sleeping babies in his arms. One of them really is his brigade commander's kidnapped grandson. Mission accomplished, though he clearly has no idea how to hold children. Then he spots grandfather and goes over. Grandpolly, are you all right? Grandfather squints and recognizes him. Oh, you're the Hua family's second boy, Huijin. What are you doing here? Huijin stands at attention, awkwardly cradling both babies. Our commander's grandson was taken. I was sent to track them down. Grandfather chuckles at his stiff posture. That girl of mine has been like a little leopard since she was small. Looks like she stumbled into helping you out. Huijin glances my way with a teasing grin. The little girl who used to chase me around yelling "Big Brother" finally grew up. I glare at him. That was the original Li Luoyu's embarrassing behavior, not mine. I refuse to claim it. Grandfather waves his hand. She's stubborn as a mule. Anyway, thank your grandfather for his efforts regarding our situation. Tell him to stop worrying about us and watch his own back instead. Be careful who he trusts. Huijin's eyes flash cold. Understood. I add a reminder. Those babies were fed a lot of sleeping pills. Get them to a hospital quickly. And that old woman, she's not just a foot soldier. There's more to her. Before I pulled my psychic power back, I planted a mental suggestion in the old woman's mind. Their interrogation should go much more smoothly now, might even lead them to the bigger fish behind the operation. That's a solid contribution worth rewarding. Huijin nods and flashes a roguish smile. Little Lee, I'll put in a commendation for you when I get back. Just wait. Sure, as long as it comes with money. Free help is for fools. He twitches but agrees, then leaves stiffly with both babies in his arms. The moment the soldiers are gone, the whole car relaxes. Shoulders loosen, whispers start up, and the normal train noise returns. That was terrifying, a trafficker sitting right next to me. I even offered to give her baby water. That woman in the red shirt smiled so sweetly I said hello to her. That girl is something else. Took down the old woman in 2 moves. So cool. Guess you really can't judge by appearances. We all need to stay more alert. One by one, the passengers who had been yelling at the old folks come over to apologize. "We're sorry. We were jealous and out of line. Please forgive us." Grandfather waves it off graciously. The male, educated youth who started everything finally works up the courage, bows deeply with a red face, and apologizes properly before slinking away. I stand with my hands behind my back, channeling my best wise elder energy. Very good. Recognizing your mistakes is the greatest virtue. Young man, walk straight and act with honor. That's the path to a good life. The old folks stare at me. Grandpa Chui mutters what they're all thinking. This girl really knows how to put on a show. The train rattles along. I pull out the bundles my friend sent. Xiaofei's package is neatly packed, clearly her mother's work. Steamed buns, mantou, pastries, and 2 boxes of homemade braised pork. At the bottom, 500 yuan in crisp bills and a bundle of ration tickets sorted perfectly, national grain tickets and cloth tickets separated with rubber bands. Auntie Chi is the best. She knows I love her braised pork. I tuck the money into my canvas bag, actually into my Space's petty cash box. Wei Jiangwo's package is enormous. 10 pounds of cotton, 5 sets of clothes sized for the old men, 1 outfit for a young girl, 2 sets of undergarments and menstrual supplies for me, and another 500 yuan with tickets at the bottom. Annie Wei is so thoughtful and kind. Grandfather sees the personal items and sighs. He knows he's not great at raising a girl on his own. Your mother and Wei's mother were best friends since girlhood. I set out the buns and braised pork on the little fold-down table. Everyone eat. Don't hold back, I have money. If we get hungry later, we'll buy more. Grandfather picks up a bun first. Eat up. You all haven't had a proper hot meal in days. The old folks are covered in bruises from their recent abuse, and their eyes are still red from my speech earlier. But hunger wins. The smell of braised pork and meat buns reaches their noses, and they all dig in. Nobody says thank you out loud. They don't need to. I can see it in their eyes. They're probably already planning to give me whatever they have once this is all over. Other passengers in the car smell the food and swallow hard, but after my earlier outburst, nobody dares come over to cause trouble. 1 glob of spit from the crowd would drown any troublemaker now. Meanwhile, though I don't learn the full details until later, things are unfolding at the Southwest Military District headquarters. Brigade Commander Mo's family has been frantic all night. His daughter-in-law, Zhang Huixin, has cried her eyes swollen. Their baby grandson, Little Yu, was kidnapped because she trusted a relative from her birth family. She's consumed with guilt and rage, swearing to cut ties with her adoptive family who orchestrated the kidnapping. The phone rings. Commander Hua answers. Hu Jin's report is brief. Traffickers captured, both children safe, just drugged with sleeping pills. A good sleep and they'll be fine. The room erupts with relief. The grandmother can barely speak, just keeps repeating, Little Yu is saved, while slapping her husband's shoulder. Zhang Huixin collapses against her husband, crying and laughing at the same time. Then Commander Hu relays the rest of the call, piece by piece. The Li family girl spotted the clues. The Li girl rescued Little Yu. She kicked the old woman trafficker flat and dislocated her jaw with 1 kick. She saved 2 children and caught 3 traffickers. He pauses. A commendation for the Li girl? Yes, absolutely. What's that? She wants cash instead. He shakes his head with admiration. That Li girl is truly remarkable. How is old Grandpa Li doing? Huijin tells him grandfather is fine, that I'm fiercely protective and haven't let anyone touch him. The second rescued child turns out to be from another family in the Southwest, a baby boy with a large blue birthmark. The traffickers were bold enough to snatch children from a military district and try to move them north. And thanks to the mental suggestion I planted in the old woman's mind, she's already spilling information. Huijin reports they've found leads to the trafficking ring's headquarters. He's staying behind to raid it rather than returning immediately. Commander Mo's son, Mo Qianbai, jumps to his feet and salutes. I request permission to join the operation. Commander Hu nods. Take a squad. Leave before dawn. Pull this trafficking ring out by the roots. Yes, sir. 3 days and 3 nights of rocking back and forth on this green train at about 50 kilometers per hour. My back is about to snap in half, and my stomach won't stop churning. The old folks look pale and miserable, so I secretly swap their water for diluted spirit spring water to ease their suffering. On the fourth morning, the speaker crackles to life. Next stop, Songyang County. Passengers heading to Red Flag Commune, Forward Commune, Morning Sun Commune. The moment I hear Red Flag Commune, I spring up from my seat. Finally. Another few hours and I'd have been twisted into a pretzel. Old man, we're getting off. Aren't you excited? Grandfather holds his aching back and flicks my forehead. Excited about what? We're here to be punished, not on vacation. The hard part hasn't even started. I hand out water and snacks. Eat up, everyone. Who knows when the next meal will be? The two red armband escorts have been surprisingly quiet the whole trip. They never bothered us once. They wake up yawning and remember their duty. Don't rush. Just follow us. I ask them politely about the process. What happens when we arrive? Do we report somewhere first? Something about my calm, clear-eyed stare makes the flat-nosed one straighten up. He pulls out a worn notebook and actually gives me useful information. We go to the commune office for our official paperwork first, then a brigade sends an ox cart to take us to the village. There's a political study session tomorrow morning at 8, reading documents and making pledges of loyalty. The other one mumbles from the window. You'll be staying in the cow shed. There's straw inside. Good enough to sleep on. Cow shed. Lovely. The train lurches to a stop and the doors open. July heat hits us like a wall. At least it's summer. I have months before winter to prepare warm supplies for the old folks. I guide everyone out through the crowd, keeping one eye on the elderly at all times. Outside the station, a man in a straw hat is yelling through a tin megaphone. Red Flag Commune.
Red Flag Commune.
Everyone going to Red Flag Commune. Gather here. A tiny girl with 2 braids comes charging through the crowd, carrying an enormous pack on her back and 2 suitcases in her hands, moving fast. Grandfather stares. Since when are young girls the strong? Women hold up half the sky, I say matter-of-factly. But I catch her secretly shaking out her reddened palms after setting the cases down, and I smile. Grandfather suddenly realizes something. Wait, do we have any luggage? Don't worry about things that aren't your concern. Worrying ages you. Everything is in my space. I just need the right moment to pull things out. He swats my hand away. Brat. About 30 educated youth have been assigned to Red Flag Commune, half boys, half girls, chattering nervously. When they notice our group of 6, the noise stops dead. They back away like we're contagious, some girls even covering their noses with handkerchiefs, as if we carry some invisible stench. The crowd splits open, putting clear distance between us and them. 5 weathered old faces standing among bright young people, completely out of place. Except for me. Someone whispers, "Why is that pretty girl standing with them?" I look at the sky and say nothing. Then I spot a familiar face, the male educated youth from the train who yelled at us and later apologized with a red face. He gives us a small, sheepish smile. I nod back. The red armbands point us toward our ride. You 6 get on that tractor. A tractor? A square engine pulling a big open cart behind it. I've only ever seen pictures of these in books. It's supposed to represent the dawn of agricultural mechanization, the iron ox, leading farmers into a new era. But this one looks more like a wheezing old cow on its last legs. I help the old folks climb into the cart, and we squeeze into a front corner, gripping the railing. The educated youth start climbing on after us. One of them looks up, sees us already seated, and immediately throws a fit. Why do these stinking intellectuals get to ride the same tractor as us? They're the dregs of society. We refuse to sit with them. I turn and stare. Picking a fight with me? How original. I look at the 2 red armband escorts. Wang, who suddenly finds the scenery fascinating. The other one stares at his worn shoes. Neither acknowledges the educated youth who just complained about sharing a tractor with us. I dust off my pants and stroll to the back of the cart, looking down at the troublemaker. Comrade, this tractor was arranged by the commune. If you think it's unfair, why not take it up with the investigation committee? I drag out those last 2 words nice and slow. The other educated youth instantly back away. Nobody wants to deal with the investigation committee. The loudmouth turns red and points at his companions. You are all saying the same thing. You said they didn't deserve to ride with us. They look away and pretend they heard nothing. Saying things privately is one thing. Admitting it publicly is another. We never told you to speak up. That was all you. One sentence from me and their little alliance crumbles. Impressive unity. The guy looks up at me. I smile, the kind of smile that says I'm happy to keep going if he is. He shuts up. Wang Hu coughs. Everyone quiet. One more word, and you're all taking a field trip to the investigation committee. The shorter escort slaps the tractor. Get on. Stop wasting time. The educated youth climb on reluctantly, keeping as far from us as possible with a wall of luggage bags between us. Perfect, more room for my old folks. Grandpa Yang whispers to me, don't draw too much attention, girl. These times. I smile. Grandpa Yang, I don't worry about the times. I follow my heart. You should do the same. Think of this as a field trip to study new crop varieties. You never know what you might discover. He pokes my forehead and laughs. You're just like your grandfather, stubborn and carefree. The tractor driver, old Yuan, hollers from the front. Everybody hold tight. It's 20 li to the commune, and the road's full of potholes. Don't fall off and break your legs. He's not kidding. The engine goes, put put put. Dust flies everywhere, and every pothole launches us into the air before slamming us back down. Whatever's in my stomach is fighting to come out. I shove my water canteen at grandfather. Drink. Don't throw up on the tractor. He takes 2 gulps and passes it to Grandpa Chui. You think this is bad? Back in the war, I rode in sealed freight cars. Snow blew through the seams, and I still slept with my rifle. I give him a thumbs up. Respect. Grandpa Yang is in the worst shape. 3 days on the train already drained him, and now he's white as a sheet. Grandpa Chui grabs the canteen and helps him drink. The spirit spring water works fast. The color returns to his face, and his dizziness fades. Then Grandpa Yang gives me a look. A knowing look. I realize I handed him the wrong canteen, the one with stronger spirit spring water. I turn away and stare very hard at the yellow dust outside. He lets it slide with a simple comment. Loloa's water is really sweet, Grandpa Pei adds. Indeed. Quite refreshing. He noticed too. I pretend not to hear either of them. Then the tractor sputters, coughs, and dies on top of a hill. Black smoke drifts from the exhaust pipe. Old Yuan jumps down cursing, grabs a wrench, bangs on the engine, then tries the hand crank. 2 pathetic putts and silence. He cranks again, nothing. Just the squeal of the metal handle slipping. The educated youth erupt in panic. Are we walking the rest of the way? It's still 8 li. My legs will fall off. Wang Hu suggests borrowing an ox from a nearby village. Old Yuan spits on the ground. I've been driving tractors for 10 years. I'm not getting beaten by this road. I can see the problem clearly. This tractor is over a decade old, bound to be temperamental. In my previous life, I repaired everything from rusted tanks to bullet-riddled bombers. A little tractor is nothing. Uncle Yuan, open the engine cover. Check the air intake system first. He looks up, baffled. What does a young girl know about farm machinery? Just let me try. Worst case, we waste a little time. Grandpa Chui has been studying the tractor too. He leans over to grandfather, surprised. Your granddaughter knows about engines. Grandfather is just as surprised, but with Grandpa Chui, a legend in military engineering, looking at him with admiration, he can't possibly admit ignorance. He straightens his back, puffs out his chest, and declares, Of course. My granddaughter has been brilliant since birth. Takes after me. Silently, I know he's praying. Please don't embarrass me, kid. I already bragged. I keep directing from above. Remove the air filter housing. Those 3 crosshead screws. Yes. Old Yuan pulls out the filter. It's caked black with oil, sludge, and grass debris. Just as I expected. Hold both ends and shake it out. Like you're plunging a toilet. Old Yuan freezes. The educated youth burst out laughing. Plunging a toilet. To fix a tractor. Look, it's not that I don't want to do it myself. It's just really greasy down there, and I'd rather not get my hands dirty. Some educated youth start heckling from the back of the tractor. What does a girl know about engines? She'll make it worse. If you don't have the skills, don't show off. Some people just love attention. Before I can respond, the male educated youth from the train, Zhou Qi, the one who apologized, jumps in and tears into them. What's wrong with you people? You can't fix it yourselves, so you mock the girl who can? If you're so capable, get down there and do it. All you're good at is running your mouths. He turns to old Yuan. Uncle Yuan, if she fixes it, don't let these people ride. Make them walk. Old Yuan nods. Deal. One female educated youth protests. Zhou Qi rolls his eyes. Don't compare me to you. I'm the kind of youth who admits when he's wrong. Meanwhile, old Yuan shakes out the air filter. Clumps of yellow dirt fly out, and a guy in glasses in the back row gasps. It's actually clear. I keep directing. The spark plug gap is too wide. Adjust it back to 1.5 millimeters. Now check the fuel pump. Turn the crankshaft with the hand, crank. I'll listen. I focus my enhanced hearing. The vibrations travel through the tractor's frame into my ears, with perfect clarity. The pump membrane is fine, but the connecting rod is worn. Wrap it with electrical tape as a temporary fix. When we reach the commune, find a piece of cowhide, cut it into a gasket, and replace it properly. Old Yuan cranks one more time. The engine fires with a bang, black smoke and dust blasting from the exhaust. He slaps the driver's seat with excitement. Girl, you're incredible. With skills like that, you could run the whole agricultural machinery station. I smile. The tire pressure is low too, wastes fuel. When we get to the commune, pump them up and grease the chain. This old machine has been with you for years. It's just got a bit of a temper. Old Yuan laughs and pats the tractor shell. You're right, no major problems, just little tantrums. The other day, it left me stranded in a field. I had to carry my toolbox to Li on foot. Machines can't talk, I say, but the tightness of their parts is like a heartbeat. Listen for the little sounds like a person coughing or sneezing. Fix things early and you won't get big breakdowns. He drops the joking and says seriously, thank you, girl. As long as you're at Red Flag Commune, Uncle Yuan has your back. Anything you need, come find me. He asks which brigade I'm assigned to. When I tell him Xiangyang Brigade, he slaps his thigh. That's my brigade. Perfect. Northeastern people really are warm. The educated youth stare at me with confused expressions. They can't figure out why a capable, pretty girl like me is being sent down. Back in our seats, Grandpa Chui, never one to hold back a question, asks directly, Luo Luo, how do you know how to fix tractors? I tilt my head, blink my big eyes, and look as innocent as possible. I'm just smart. I see things once and understand them. Isn't that how it works for you too, Grandpa Chui? Being a genius is a useful reputation to build. It'll explain away all the skills I'll inevitably reveal later.
Grandpa Chui nearly chokes.
He's a military engineering legend, but even he had to study the tractor for several minutes before figuring out the problem. He thinks of my father, his former apprentice, and that man's terrifying talent. He redirects smoothly. That's right. Our Luo is simply gifted. Grandma Sue's shoulders shake with silent laughter. She's secretly giving me a thumbs up behind her sleeve. Grandpa Pei and grandfather both stare at the sky and the ground, pretending to be very busy so they don't burst out laughing. They all know I'm performing. Nobody calls me out. Then Grandpa Yang speaks quietly, almost to himself. Back in the Gobi Desert, I was also someone who figured things out by looking. Except I was looking at how cactus plants bore fruit. His voice changes. We ran out of water once. Just me and old Wang left on the expedition team. He held a cactus and cried. I taught him to check the spine density. Fewer spines means more stored water. Peel the skin and you can suck out half a mouthful of juice. He pauses. Old Wang didn't make it. Before he died, he said I really had talent. He smiles, but it's wrapped in grief. It wasn't talent. It was just desperation. My eyes suddenly sting. For this era that demands people trade their lives for survival. For these old scientists planting hope in barren ground. I look out at the green rice paddies rolling past and lift my face to the sun. Grandpa Yang, do you believe me? Someday, rice will grow so tall people can rest in its shade. And even cactus deserts will become great granaries. He turns to me, startled. He sees something in my eyes, something brighter than sunlight. In the distance, frogs are singing. The tractor's puttering startles a few white herons into flight. He remembers that old Wang said something similar before he died. I believe that someday, even the desert will bloom with flowers. His eyes fill with tears. All right, he says softly. Grandpa will wait for that day. We're here. Old Yuan's shout snaps me out of my thoughts. The tractor plows to a stop, kicking up clouds of dust. Through the haze, I make out the words, Red Flag Commune, on an old stone archway. Red banners with white slogans hang on both sides, put down roots in the countryside, and forge red hearts in the vast land. Propaganda murals cover the walls. Poor farmers welcome you, and educated youth go to the countryside. Looking at all of this stirs something deep in me. It's like standing at the start of a new chapter. The educated youth jump off the tractor. I hear someone mutter, "This is the commune?" It's worse than the county town. The two red armband escorts hand us over to the local committee. We go through the whole process: identity verification, reform registration, a check for prohibited items, and bowing to the leader's portrait while reciting a pledge. Then we press our thumbprints onto reform commitment letters. On the way out, each of us receives a sent-down certificate, 2 oil-printed handbooks on reform, and a copy of the Little Red Book. I flip open the handbook. The first page declares, daily labor must not be less than 10 hours. I laugh. Grandpa Pei rolls his handbook into a tube and taps my shoulder. He whispers, know why they call it the tail-cutting committee? They once declared that goat tails were remnants of capitalism and had them all cut off. Then winter came and the tailless goats started dying. So they secretly sewed the tails back on. He straightens his sleeves. Turns out people aren't always as smart as goats. I press my hand over my mouth to keep from laughing. Educated people's complaints are surprisingly entertaining. He keeps going. I spent years at Tongrantang Pharmacy practicing the art of diagnosis, observing, listening, questioning, feeling the pulse. Now, instead of diagnosing patients, I'm supposed to diagnose goat tails for political correctness. Grandma Sue swats him. Stop filling the child's head with nonsense. I shake my head eagerly. No, please continue. I love this. His eyes light up. I knew you were special, Lee girl. Once we're settled, I'll teach you the Pei family 13 needles technique. Yes. I'm so smart. I'll definitely learn it instantly. He laughs heartily. I believe it. If you're willing, I'll pass on everything I know. We ride old Yuan's tractor again to Xiangyang Brigade. Besides our 6, there are 4 educated youth assigned to the same brigade. Niu Jianxi, the young man who apologized on the train. Su Xiaoxiao, the tiny girl who carried the giant luggage. Zhou Huazhong, the one who called us scum earlier. And Zhao Zhaodi, a girl whose nose points permanently skyward. Niu Jianxi introduces himself first, politely offering to help if I ever need anything. I thank him and tell him I can manage. Su Xiaoxiao is next, bright-eyed, sweet-voiced, and bubbly. You're amazing. You can even fix tractors. She's 17, from Hangzhou, and tells me cheerfully that her mother sent her to the countryside because she ate too much. I know what that probably really means. In this era, families who send their children away either don't care about them, throwing them into the current, or love them so deeply they push them away from the storm, using distance as armor. A truly cherished child wouldn't be sent to suffer in the countryside. I can't find the right comforting words, so I just say, the world is wide and full of possibilities. I'm sure you'll carve out a wonderful new life. She clenches her fist. I will. Then everyone stares at Zhou Huazhong until he stammers out his introduction.
I'm
Zhou Huazhong. From Beijing. 17. His voice shrinks with each word until the tractor engine swallows it entirely. Niu Jianxi can't help teasing. Great name, Comrade Zhou. Sounds very cultured. Zhou Huazhong's face turns crimson. He knows it's payback for calling us dregs of society earlier. Niu Jianxi passes along the advice I once gave him. Comrade Zhou, admitting your mistakes is the greatest virtue. Walk straight and you'll walk far. I nod with zero expression. If I got upset at every person who looked down on us, I'd give myself an ulcer. Finally, all eyes turned to the last girl. Zhao Zhaodi smooths her hair with exaggerated elegance, lifts her chin so high she's basically looking at us through her nostrils, and announces, "I'm Zhao Zhaodi." From Beijing, she bites down hard on Beijing, dragging it out like the words are lined with gold.
Zhaodi.
Beckoning a younger brother. In every novel set in this era, that name always shows up eventually. Su Xiaoxiao bursts out laughing.
Ooh, fancy.
I thought your name would be something grand. My neighbor's cat has a similar name. Beckoning Fortune. Niu Jianxi chokes on his own spit. Zhou Huazhong stares at his shoes, shoulders shaking. He's discovered that as long as the teasing isn't aimed at him, these people are actually pretty entertaining. Zhao Zhaodi's face turns the color of liver. She points her flower-painted nail at Su Xiaoxiao. What does a country bumpkin know? The section chief at my father's office calls me Comrade Zhaodi. How impressive, Su Xiaoxiao chirps in her sweetest voice. Comrade Zhaodi. Niu Jianxi copies the tone. Comrade Zhaodi. Zhao Zhaodi looks ready to explode. I shake my head, amused. You're all just kids who haven't seen real storms yet. Grandfather flicks my forehead. What are you laughing at? You're a kid too. Old man, flick me again, and I'm fighting back. Oh yeah, he flicks me again. I'm your grandfather. You think you can rebel? I grab my head and duck behind Grandma Sue. Grandma Sue, look. My grandfather is being unreasonable. After half an hour of bone-rattling tractor ride, we finally see Xiangyang Brigade, or as the locals call it, Yuan Family Village, nestled at the foot of the mountains. It's a settlement of about 100 households, originally migrants who came to clear farmland. They formed a crescent-shaped village, and when the commune system started, their connected fields and good water supply earned them their own production brigade. A commune official looked at their golden rice paddies and named them Xiangyang, meaning facing the sun. As we approach, the village emerges in the evening light. Behind it rises an endless wall of dark green mountains, the legendary 100,000 Mountains, living up to their name. A wide river winds past, crossed by a wooden bridge. Under an old locust tree at the bridgehead, children chase a yellow dog, waving little frogs woven from palm leaves. Somewhere in the distance, a woman leans out her door shouting, "Arguzi, dinner time?" I breathe deeply. Wet earth and sweet osmanthus flowers fill my nose. It's like a painting, little bridge, flowing water, peaceful homes. A paradise hidden from the world. I stretch and watch the golden sunset. A world without zombies. How wonderful. I think I'm going to like it here. The tractor stops and children come running. Villagers drop what they're doing and wander over to watch. On the threshing ground, Brigade Leader Yuan Guoqiang stands waiting with a serious face. He welcomes the 4 educated youth, assigns them to the youth point leader Chen Hao, who leads them off to their mud-brick dormitories. Once the young people are gone, the brigade leader's expression hardens further. He turns to the gathered villagers. Pass the word, nobody in this village bullies anyone. First offense, I dock 10 work points. Second offense, 20. That goes for your children too. Understood. We won't. Captain, you know us. We'd never do anything that's shameful. The villagers scatter, dragging their kids along. Stay away from the cowshed, brat, or I'll break your legs. I raise an eyebrow. This brigade leader is decent. I can work with him. The cowshed is at the far western edge of the village, separated from the nearest houses by half a rice paddy and a winding dirt path. In an era where communication means shouting, even a good yell from here might not reach the village. I like the distance. Privacy is useful. The shed itself holds 3 old yellow oxen, breathing steadily, clearly exhausted from a day's work. Nearby stand 2 thatched huts leaning against each other. The wall gaps are wide enough to stick your head through. A gust of wind makes the roofs rattle, and old straw crumbles down, exposing blackened wooden beams trembling in the sunset. Then creak, creak, creak. Everyone stares in horror. The brigade leader's face turns red. Well, our village conditions are a bit. Before he finishes, both huts collapse completely.
Just
fall apart.
He gapes.
Those huts stood for over a decade, and today the wind knocks them flat? I hide my satisfaction. I may have given the wind a tiny psychic nudge and pull a pound of white rabbit candies from my bag, actually from my space. The packaging is identical to what exists in this era, so it's safe to use. The flavor isn't quite as good as this era's version, but I've got dozens of shipping containers full, so white rabbit candy is going to be my go-to gift for building relationships from now on. I pull the brigade leader aside for a private chat. Captain Yuan, as you can see, the huts are gone. He scratches his head awkwardly. These people were sent down to his village, but his orders from above were clear. Don't mistreat them. Treat them normally. They need somewhere to live. Building new huts takes at least 2 days. The labor isn't the problem, but how to account for the villagers' work points is. I can see his dilemma, so I make a proposal. Captain, we may be sent down people, but we still need a roof over our heads. Winter here is brutal, cold enough to crack bones. And everyone in my group except me is elderly. So here's my idea. I squat down next to him by a haystack, hand him 2 white rabbit candies, and unwrap one for myself. The sweetness melts across my tongue and takes the edge off my hunger. Then I realize with a guilty start that I forgot to feed the old folks properly today. They've survived on a few pastries and sips of water since morning. I peek back at them standing helplessly before the rubble and quickly turn around before they notice my guilt. I'll pay for it. You find people to help us rebuild. His already serious face goes even more rigid. That might not follow regulations. I pull out my special operations credentials and show him. Captain, you may not recognize this department, but you'll recognize the official seal. I'm with Special Operations. My mission is to protect these national treasures. Grandpa Yang is an agricultural scientist who can double crop yields. Grandpa Chui is a military weapons researcher. Grandpa Pei is a master of traditional Chinese medicine. Grandma Su is a renowned obstetrician. My grandfather is a retired general. They're all invaluable to this country, and someday they'll return to their posts. I planned from the beginning to reveal my identity to the brigade leader. It makes my work easier and serves as a deterrent, so nobody gets ideas about harassing us. If the leader himself turns out to be uncooperative, well, leaders can be replaced. My apocalypse survival rule: deterrence creates order. As long as you're strong enough, you can carve out your own rules in any environment. I let my eyes go cold and point at the collapsed huts behind me. If anything happens to these people under conditions like that, well, a chill runs down the brigade leader's spine. He understands perfectly. He looks at the bright red seal on my credentials and suddenly grasps why these particular people were sent to his village and why his orders specifically emphasized, do not mistreat them. He's about to nod when a frantic shout echoes from the distance. Wild boar. Wild boar coming down the mountain. Somebody help. Wild boar coming down the mountain. Run. The brigade leader shoves my credentials back into my hand and vanishes over the haystack like a blur, shouting orders as he goes. Ergden, get the militia. Bring the iron pitchforks. I'm impressed by his speed, but I haven't forgotten that my old folks haven't eaten properly all day. I pull some buns and mantu from my bag for my space, really, and hand them to grandfather.
Eat something.
I'll go check it out. Be careful, he calls after me. I'm already past the cow shed. In the distance, the cornfield is a wreck. More than a dozen wild boar are plowing through it, snouts buried in the stalks, mud and corn kernels splattered across their fat sides. The lead boar is the size of a small calf, tusks draped with grass, tiny eyes glinting with menace in the fading light. A woman's scream cuts through the air.
Hua.
Save my Hua. A little boy is frozen at the edge of the boar's attack zone, too terrified to move, crying for his parents. The militia captain is holding the mother back. She'd only get herself killed rushing in. Brigade leader Yuan keeps his head. He barks rapid orders. Form groups of 3. Don't fight the boar head-on. Bang copper gongs and iron basins to scare them. Throw chili powder to irritate them, and drive them back uphill. These are livestock, not enemy soldiers. Don't chase them. Anyone who does loses half a year's work points. Lives come first. The militia charges into the cornfield with gongs clanging and chili powder flying. But the noise and burning powder only enrage the boar. Their eyes turn red, and they scatter in all directions. The lead boar lets out a deafening squeal and rams a militiaman into a ditch. Others charge at the men with their tusks. Bamboo spears barely scratch their thick hides. The situation spirals into chaos fast. Little Hua is directly in the path of a charging boar, frozen stiff with terror. The instant I hear the boar's roar, my hand moves on instinct. 10 years of apocalypse muscle memory kicks in. My tang sword is already half drawn before I catch myself.
Wait.
I can't pull out a weapon like this. There's no way to explain where it came from. I shake my head, flip my wrist, and swap it for a simple bow and arrow. Much easier to explain. Everyone is focused on the boar. Nobody sees me pull things from thin air. I step out from behind a haystack, draw the bamboo bow to full moon, and release. 3 arrows fly in a triangle formation with a sharp whistle. All 3 bury themselves in the lead boar's skull. Its massive body crashes to the ground half a meter from little Hua, carried forward by momentum. Hua's mother collapses with relief, sobbing broken sounds of gratitude. The villagers freeze. Every eye turns to me. I'm standing in my dark clothes, hair pulled into a high ponytail, quiver on my back, bow arms still extended. I've been told I look like one of those warrior heroines from old Chinese opera. The brigade leader stares at me with wide eyes. Whatever doubts he had about my credentials are completely gone now. How is this girl so fierce? Stop staring and grab the child, I shout, already knocking another arrow. Hua's father snaps awake, sprints in, scoops up the son, and bolts back at lightning speed. The moment Hua is safe in his father's arms, the boy bursts into fresh wails. Daddy, I almost died. I've never even eaten braised pork yet. His mother grabs a branch and starts whacking his backside. I told you not to wander off. You scared me half to death. Then she drops the stick, pulls him into her arms, and breaks down crying herself. The whole family clings to each other, sobbing. Meanwhile, I keep shooting. 12 more arrows. 12 more boar, different sizes, all dropping with arrows through their skulls. They stagger a step or two and crash to the earth. After a stunned silence, the village erupts into cheering. The women closest to me start clapping and jumping. Before I know what's happening, several aunties rush over, grab me, and toss me into the air like I just won a championship. They catch me. They throw me again. More women join in. I'm being crowd-surfed by a dozen farm women across the threshing ground. Are northeastern women always the strong? Put me down, I shout, but my voice is nothing against the roaring crowd. Heroine, goddess archer, the living Mu Guiying. The cheering swells louder with every toss. Being thrown into the air by these villagers, feeling their rough, warm hands catching me again and again, for the first time since I arrived in this world, I feel truly alive. Not surviving in a wasteland of monsters, but living among real, warm-blooded people. After a dozen tosses, the brigade leader finally yells them into stopping. Enough. Don't scramble the girls' brains. The aunties set me down gently, patting my back. Careful with our little heroine. Don't drop her. Villagers swarm around me like I'm a rare animal on display. My goodness. Not a single casualty and every boar is dead. This girl is incredible. 3 arrows and the boar king went down. She gets the seat of honor at the pork feast. Little sis is fiercer than my dad after 3 bottles of liquor. Hua's mother, Auntie Wong, drags her son over with red eyes and makes him kneel. Hua, kowtow to your savior. She saved your life. From now on, if your big sister needs anything, Aaron's messages, you run faster than the wind. The boy has already knocked his head on the ground 3 times by the time I break free from the crowd of aunties. I pull him up quickly.
No go doing.
That'll get us all in trouble. We don't do that anymore. Auntie Wong stuffs 2 warm eggs into my pocket. I'm sorry, forgot about the rules in the excitement. But please take these, our old hen just laid them. I'll bring you more tomorrow. I squeeze Hua's chubby cheek. Auntie Wong, don't be so formal. The 6 of us are here now, so we're part of this village. Right, Captain? The brigade leader has just pushed through the crowd. That's right. Another auntie grabs my arm and squeezes it. Look at this tiny waist. Where does all that strength come from? My face goes red. These northeastern women are too much. I'm basically a socially awkward person being suffocated by affection. I cough and put my cool, composed face back on. The militia captain, Yuan Weidong, reports the count. 10 large boar, 2 small ones. All killed with single arrows to the head. Captain, what do we do with them? He asks. Every villager stares at the pile of dead boar, swallowing hard. Little kids run circles around the carcasses chanting, "We're eating meat. We're eating meat." The last time this village had pork was during the New Year festival, half a year ago. Most families have forgotten what it tastes like. Brigade Leader Yuan looks at me warmly. "What do you say, girl?" I shrug. "Handle it however you normally would. If you're splitting the meat, I just want some pig trotters, pork fat, and ribs. I need to help the old folks build their strength. Oh, and pull my arrows out and give them back." He slaps his thigh and laughs. "You're a good one. Weidong, send 3 boar to the commune tomorrow. Split the rest among the village." Everyone cheers. The captain is generous. The Li girl is righteous. This brigade leader, I'm learning, is fiercely protective of his people. Anyone under his wing, villager or outsider, gets treated equally. But cross anyone in his village, and he'll come after you with a carrying pole and 30 women armed with rolling pins. Apparently last year, the neighboring village tried to steal wild chestnuts from the edge of their fields. Yuan just squatted on the ridge tapping his pipe against a tree stump while his army of aunties stood behind him with hoes, staring down the thieves until they retreated. "Don't mess with Xiangyang Brigade" is a well-known saying in the surrounding villages. After the wild boar situation is fully handled, he turns back to me. "Oh, you're still here? I thought you'd gone. Captain, we didn't finish our conversation. About the housing, right?" He slaps his thigh again. The boar scrambled my brain. "Okay, I agree to the building. Tell me your plan." I pull him down to squat in the cornfield and start drawing in the dirt with a stick. 3 rooms. Grandpa Pei and Grandma Su are married. They share one. My grandfather, Grandpa Chui, and Grandpa Yang share another. I'm a young girl, so I need my own. Each room gets a heated brick bed, a cooking stove, and a washing area. Then add a shared kitchen, a bathroom, and dig a well. I go on for a while before summing it up. Inside, make it as comfortable as possible. Outside, pile on dead grass, and make it look as run down as you can manage. The principle is, golden treasure inside, shabby wreck outside. The brigade leader's mouth twitches. "This isn't a cow shed you're describing, it's a farmhouse. Should I just build you a courtyard wall too? Maybe give you your own private garden plot while I'm at it?" My eyes light up. I nod enthusiastically. "Captain, you really understand me. It's a deal then." "Wait," his eye starts twitching. He grabs my wrist. "You can't be serious. Aren't you worried about—" I can see his concern. If someone from higher up inspects and finds us living well, there'll be trouble. I pat his shoulder and gaze at the darkening sky with the calm authority of a seasoned official. "Captain, just go ahead and do it. If anything goes wrong, I'll take the blame." He stares at me in speechless resignation.